One more off day for the Red Sox. They open up the second half with a 3-game series against the Cubs in Chicago tomorrow afternoon. Sox still riding that 10-game winning streak. NHL schedule released yesterday. Among the highlights for the Bruins, opening night will be on the road against the Capitals October 8th. Blackhawks come to Boston for the Bruins home opener the next night, October 9th. Former captain Brad Marchand will make his return to TD Garden with the Florida Panthers on Tuesday, October 21st. Revolution led 2-0 at halftime, ended up losing to the New York Red Bulls last night 5-3. Revs will host Orlando on Saturday night. NFL free agent defensive end Von Miller signing a one-year deal with the Washington Commanders. Chargers say running back Najee Harris likely will be placed on the non-football injury list as they open training camp today. Harris suffered an eye injury in a fireworks incident July 4th. NBA news, Bradley Beal has agreed to a contract buyout with the Phoenix Suns. After he clears waivers, he's reportedly planning on signing with the Clippers. And round one underway at the Open Championship. Jakob Skov Olesen of Denmark, 4 under par through 12 holes. He leads by one shot over Lee Westwood and Haotong Lee. Much of the field is yet to tee off. Sports Hub headlines brought to you by Ketchus Law. At Ketchus, they specialize in helping those who have been injured, not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Sound like you? Visit KetchusLaw.com. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in 30 minutes.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 98.5sportshub.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
And Hardy.
Who's Taylor the originator?
On 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Mondays.
Well, I tell her the truth. I miss Booty.
That problem is too large for the starch.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. Open Championship Day, right? Here on Toucher and Hardy, where we will be discussing the Open Championship throughout the entirety of today's show. Who's that luminary on top of the leaderboard right now, Ryan Johnston?
That would be Jakob Skov Olesen.
Who is he?
Household name.
Who is he? You should know this.
I do not know
As
him.
a host of the Sports Hub Golf Club every Sunday morning, you should know this guy. Who is he?
I am not familiar
What
with
country is he from? Let's start there.
Sweden, of course.
Denmark.
Yep.
He's Danish.
Same thing.
Won the amateur championship last year.
Look at you.
Oh,
Second appearance in the Open Championship.
So, of course, he's atop the leaderboard.
sure, why not?
One of those guys that by tomorrow afternoon you won't see him ever.
Well,
Scotty Scheffler just birdied 3. He's in contention.
precious little golf talk on the show today. Don't you worry about that. But I will be monitoring, watching.
We made the mistake of putting the Open on. We have 3 monitors here in the studio. We made the mistake of putting the monitor closest to Hardy on the actual tournament. So now his attention will be divided for the entirety of the upcoming program.
It will not be divided. My attention will be on the Open Championship, and I will have occasional chime-ins for the next 3
All right,
hours
Ryan,
and
so it's you
55
and me.
minutes.
It's you and me.
Don't worry about
All right.
it. You're fine. You're fine.
Very good.
Fred is off down to Florida for a couple of days because who doesn't want to go to Florida in the middle of July?
I was there a couple of weeks ago. Weather was terrific.
What define that?
100 degrees, 250% humidity.
Wow.
It was awesome.
See, some like warm weather destinations. Like years and years ago, we took a trip to Atlantis as a family because it was like
I thought that sunk.
very good, super cheap summer rates. Like the family package. Come in July, I'm like, this is great. And then people said, oh, man, you're going to the Bahamas in July. That is going to be brutal. While we were there, number one, it's like going to Aruba, where it's always windy. I've only been to Aruba once, and people told me before I went there, they're like, just so you know, it's always a sustained minimum 15-mile-an-hour wind, and it actually helps. It helps, feel a little bit cooler. But while we were in the Bahamas in July, it was cooler than what it was in Boston during that stretch because we happened to get lucky, and there was a heat wave in Boston during that time. So not bad. I don't know that Florida can claim the same thing. It's like you said, the 250% humidity factor.
My dad first moved down there. We went and visited him, and timing-wise, we ended up down there like end of July. And I remember walking off of the plane and coming out of, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. We walked out to go to the car, come out of the airport, and it was like it hit you in the face.
Yeah, oppressive.
Like a punch. It was like 90 degrees, and the air was thick,
stifling.
It was you couldn't breathe.
Yeah,
and it was like that. And it was like that the entire time.
What part of Florida?
The Panhandle.
Oh,
all right,
lovely.
Yes.
No winds off the Gulf of America for you?
The Gulf of what?
I'm just trying to fit in.
It's the Gulf of America.
Right.
It's the Gulf of America.
Hey,
I'm shocked I got that right.
Learn maps.
The Gulf of America says so right there in front of me.
It does. Go online. That thing was changed immediately.
I mean, they couldn't do it fast enough. It was great.
I guess you call it whatever you want, I guess, but you would think, that wouldn't be like priority one at Google Maps. Whoever was in charge that day, it's like, now we got to change that. There's a big body of water's got a new name now. Does it? Yeah. How?
If I go into Canada and Google it, do I get a different response?
Probably.
Maybe.
Probably you
Perhaps,
do, yes.
Perhaps. There's something going on in my neighborhood yesterday, and I'm sorry I missed this because I was on the golf course with Wallach and Forsberg yesterday. So you know how much it pains me to miss any type of event on my street, be it construction or something going on with some neighbors, or in this case, trash pickup. Because in Canton,
oh, you guys have been on strike.
No, he did. You had to do it the last time.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yes, he actually
had to go
went
to the
around
dump.
the neighborhood and picked up how many houses worth?
just a couple of houses.
Just a couple of houses nearby. He performed a community service. He went, picked up the trash, brought it to the dump himself. But now the strike is over.
That's got to earn
correct?
a lot of points with the neighbors.
Yeah, whatever. They know I enjoy it. So.
Is the strike over, though? The regular people? No.
Strike is not over.
Oh, boy.
No. So,
is there like a distinct odor in the town of Canton these days? Like, do you just drive around? Do you just smell like baking garbage?
No. It's not like I'm sure it is like in Philadelphia. I don't know if their strike is still going on or not. And a friend of mine, another neighbor who is from New York, he has a friend who worked. Listen to this guy. He joined the Department of Sanitation right out of high school, and worked the first few years, back of a truck doing whatever. Got in the management program. I believe at the age of 39, retired from the Department of Sanitation, New York.
Gotta love a government job.
With, I don't know, whatever it was, 60, 70% pension or something after he put in his 20 years and will now receive a check for God knows how long for his pension. And he's off doing something else now. I'm going to get my Series 7 license or not. 39 years old.
Wow.
Because he bit the bullet and said, I'm going to be on the back of a garbage truck in New York City for years, but then the first chance I have to get off and start driving and then get into an office job. He did it, and he's done. But he said in New York, whenever they plan to strike, they just cave. They're like, no, we can't have garbage accumulating on the streets of New York for more than a couple of days.
Philadelphia's strike is over, apparently.
Okay.
So that's good news for them.
Republic Services still, their guys still on strike. I think it's 17 communities that are affected by this. All right. So this started a couple of weeks ago. I don't even want to think about how long it's been going on. But like on my street, the trash pickup is Wednesday. So that first Wednesday, and by the way, it was also a recycling day. I don't know how you guys
That's the big
are.
one.
Yeah.
The recycling fills up faster than the trash.
Well, do you get recycling every week? Because we get it every other week.
Every other week.
Every other week.
Every other week.
So but it fills up faster anyway.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think I invented this, but I've got my little move where I get in the recycling bin and stomp it down like I'm squashing grapes, just to pack it all down.
You jump in the bin.
I don't jump in. I don't
My
take a
point
running
is,
start.
You get a step ladder out there. You step in and
no.
no.
If you step out into my garage, it's like a little raised platform coming out of the house, and you take a couple of steps down to get down into the garage. So there is a way. And by the way, I also have a pulley system right next to the door, so you just reach over and grab a handle, and
That's exactly what I was thinking. Stomping grapes. The moment he said that.
Yeah.
Oh, she's hurt. The garbage and recycling cans are down to the right, like over a little railing. But, what do you want to do? Well, walk down the steps and then lift the lid and throw the stuff in? No, you step out, you just reach over the railing, and you pull one of two handles, and it raises the lid so you can just toss the trash of the recycling over the side of the railing.
Come on.
And then you let go of the handle, and the lid drops down. But because it's so close to that little raised area, what I can do is hoist myself up using the little garage porch, hold on to the railing, and get up, and I stomp it down. You stomp down the recycling. So it's packed. By the time the recycling goes out every other week, it's got to weigh 150 pounds. It's just, it is stuffed with crap. So that's been out there. What they told us, I think it was 2 weeks ago yesterday. I don't think it was 3. 2 weeks ago yesterday. All right, you're not trashing getting picked up today. They're on strike. And they said Monday you'll get it out there. So that was a week and a half ago that we thought was going to be picked up by one of these replacement workers, scabs, whatever. All right, it's a thing. Monday comes and goes. Tuesday, Wednesday. We're getting email updates and postings from the town. Okay, yeah, here's the new schedule based on this. And every day they're supposed to come pick up. They don't pick up. All right. So I had no reason to believe that yesterday was actually going to be the day, and it was. Now, here's what has been captured by Ring doorbell cameras in the neighborhood, and one particularly heroic neighbor who took photographs through the window of their home.
Usually that's Hardy.
Yes.
Usually that's
yes.
Hardy.
Yes, but I wasn't there.
I understand. So someone stepped in for you. Yes.
Someone stepped in for me. And apparently what is happening, and the reason why things are so delayed and that they're not getting to you when the day that they're supposed to, these replacement workers, are striking workers are following the trucks around, and they stand in front of the truck and block them from moving for 2 minutes. Why 2 minutes? Apparently this has been negotiated. They can block a pickup for no more than 2 minutes, and then they have to step aside and allow the garbage truck to move forward and pick up the barrels. Who's keeping track of this? A police officer. So there's like a detail going around.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
This is just what I heard yesterday, and in the photograph, I can only see the guy standing in front of the truck. But how else?
This is just one guy? Or is it a group of people?
Maybe he's got a buddy with him. I don't know.
Wait, you have a neighbor take a picture and then share it to, he shares it to like a dozen of you, said, this is what I saw. It's like a community text type of thing in your cul-de-sac or whatever, that kind of thing.
There's the photo right there.
Oh, there it is.
You can see the guy standing in front of the truck.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, at least it's not costing the city
it's
any
like
money.
that guy who faced down the tanks
there.
at Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's two guys out there. So they're working in tandem, right?
Okay.
And it looks like they're driving the Republic Services trucks. So they just brought in new drivers and they're using the same trucks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, maybe there's 3. Yeah, maybe there's 3 guys out there. Now, does this seem silly? Does this say? I don't know. To quote Richard Patrick, who once said, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm not Henry Rollins. I don't know if this is right or wrong. The workers, obviously, who are on strike have their issues. The guys who are in the truck, are they right or wrong for doing it? I don't know. I just find it absolutely fascinating that there is a negotiated
2 minutes
protest going on out there, and this is what they've all decided on, and it's this game that they have to play. So every stop, which should take 30 seconds, a little bit longer at my house when Joey gets out to pet the dog. Or if I'm there, or Reno.
Who gets out to pet the dog?
Well, Joey from the trash and Reno from the recycling. And they get out to pet the dog's out there. What are you not going to do? Not pet her?
Do you know the name of your...
Did the scab come out and pet the dog?
So, thank you. Thank you for asking the most obvious question, which is what I asked my son, who was home yesterday. I said, Calvin, did whoever was driving the truck get out in bed? Well, I let her out when she heard the trucks because she gets all excited. I'm like, of course. Yes, you did the right thing. Did whoever was out there, either the striking guys blocking the truck or the driver, get out to pet the dog? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I was getting dressed. I'm like, that's the most important thing.
I would hope that your dog wouldn't cross the picket line, but...
Right, be labeled a scab sympathizer.
A union dog.
I mean, there's protesters out blocking the truck, so maybe.
Who did she go to? That's a good point. There are a lot of different guys out there.
Anybody who looks like they're willing to pet, free to be you and me. Love the one you're with.
Do you know the name of the people who come and get your recycling and trash?
No, I've never seen the person.
See,
ever.
I'm the same way. They
don't get out of the truck.
Yeah. We have the mechanical arm that comes out. Yeah.
You have a dog, don't you?
Yeah.
Doesn't your dog like to greet people when they come to the house?
No.
Oh.
My dog yells at people when they come to the house.
Yeah.
He also doesn't, have free reign of the yard.
Oh.
We don't have a fence or anything, so he's not, just out hanging out in the front yard when they pull by.
Well, you live how you want to live. My only point is, A, I don't understand how this got worked out in the first place, and B, I don't understand how my son does not watch the most important component of this as to whether or not the dog ended up getting, the greetings that she's become accustomed to. So, good news is the trash got picked up. The bad news is the recycling did not.
Oh, man.
So the recycling is still out on the curb where it's been for... 10, 11 days now, just waiting.
So you just, what happened? Is it overflowed? Are you out of space for the recycling?
You have a backup barrel. You must.
No, but my neighbors do.
Okay.
And my other neighbors have, they spend a lot of time, back and forth, and they, there's just two of them, so they don't accumulate as much. So, yeah, there's been some overflow going on into some other barrels, either the ones who have extras or the people who don't use theirs.
I'm just wondering, at what point you give up and just take all that stuff to the dump?
The recycling portion of the dump is not available, only for broken down cardboard. That's the only thing they can accept right now.
Oh, that's too
they
bad.
can't accept just loose recycling, and that's
no, I'm talking about just take it to the dump.
Oh, yeah, I've done that twice. I've taken trash to the dump.
No, take the recycling to the trash dump.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cheating.
So, Ryan, have there been recyclable items that have been placed in the trash in the last week or so? Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Clutching the pearls. How
Are
dare
you
you?
admitting this?
Yes.
Like for everyone to hear?
I did it again last night.
Wow.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much we can do at this point. I'm not going, full Big Jim Murray, one big bag, but at some point, what are we doing?
By the way, for the low price of $20, the Canton Little League will come and pick up your trash and take it away.
A couple of people around town who I guess are cleaning up right now, no pun intended, by offering trash removal, and they'll swing by, take your trash, haul it over to the dump, boom, done, and they've been doing well.
See, my town just instituted a trash fee. It's about to hit our we're supposed to get our bills for the first time. Hardy's looking at me with a odd. We have some budgetary issues.
Oh, so if you want trash and recycling,
there is no choice. It's like it's not like you get a water bill, you get a sewer bill, you will get a trash bill. Pay quarterly.
What if you say, no, don't pick up my trash, I'll do it myself?
I don't think you can opt out. We don't really have a public dumping station in town, so.
Okay.
Wow.
You know,
do you have blue bags? You got to put your.
Do you have a pond?
Yeah.
Do you have a playground? Do you have woods?
What? So we don't have the trash.
If you get,
don't have that, but we have blue bags. We got to put our trash in.
No, you get one trash bin, one recycle bin. If you overflow the trash bin, then you have to go buy special bags, for your extra.
Okay.
It's not an unlimited dumping system here, but
okay.
So you get one bin a week for trash. You get one bin every 2 weeks for recycling. And the cost of that now, I believe, is $95 a quarter.
Oh,
because they decided we have to pay for if we don't make you guys pay, we're gonna not have a police force. So that's how they decided.
What town do you live in?
Drake.
Wow, man.
Yeah. So they had to fill like a $4 million budget hole or something like that, and so
that's real money.
Yeah.
But worth it, I guess. If they were to come down right now and say, hey, there's no way of making this happen.
Would you spend $400 a year to make sure your trash got picked up every week? Because
I actually would.
I think I would.
I would do that.
As much
now, if they ever end up in your situation on strike, the town's going to burn because people are pissed off already about paying the $400 a year.
Yeah.
If you're paying that money and then they go on strike, not happening.
How many people live in Drake?
It's like 33,000, something like that.
Okay.
As much as I love going to the dump, I would probably pay it. Because the one thing that I really, truly miss, now knowing that there is a chance I'm going to have to go to the dump again, is the ability and the carefree attitude of taking stuff out of my car. Straw wrappers, food bags, whatever, just taking it, walking in the garage, opening up the trash barrel, and just chucking it in loose. And I haven't been doing that because if I have to take it to the dump again, I want it all bagged up ahead of time. And now, the ability to throw away loose trash in the garage garbage bin, that's gone right now.
Can I go back to the pulley system for a second?
You may.
So when you under normal circumstances, you wheel that thing out to the sidewalk and it gets picked up. You wheel it back. You then have to reattach the pulley system. You have to think about that every time you bring the bins back in.
It's a very simple process. Even the wife and kids can do it. It is a carabiner that is clipped onto the lid, and there is a washer tied to a string that is, one end of the pulley, and all you have to do is open the carabiner, you put the washer inside that, click it closed, boom, done. Very simple.
Impressive.
Do you remember to do that every time?
Of course.
Does the family remember to do that every time?
They love it.
Really?
They love it.
It was.
Thanks, Dad.
What a great idea.
Just what we wanted.
I'm sure your teenage daughter's in love with it.
She stopped being of any use when it comes to household chores a couple years ago. The boy is still down with it. And when I first instituted this mechanism, say 5-6 years ago, when he was 8 or 9 years old, he loved it. It was great. Let's make taking out the trash and recycling fun.
How long do you think that'll last, Ryan? A couple more years? 1 year?
He's still
I'm
6
amazed
months.
that it's lasted this long.
He's still doing it.
6 months?
He's still doing it.
He's right on the edge of not caring.
Everybody's down with it.
Okay.
I'll take a video. We'll post it. All right. Let's find out what happened last night. We just did nothing. So, no, there are things that we can discuss here, and we will do that as we continue here on Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
It is Toucher and Hardy. Follow us there on the YouTube. Toucher and Hardy. You can watch the show live. You can also chat, and you can email us, and you can do all the. Well, you can't email us from the YouTube, but you can chat with other listeners and do all that stuff, and watch the show, and listen to the show, and listen and watch Ryan Johnston, who is in today because Fred is out in Florida, but John Wallach is here, and he is going to tell us what happened last night.
Okay, well, the Major League Baseball.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We have a
Wallach.
sponsor, right?
What happened last night? That's right.
Yes.
Is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happens, so change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
The Major League Baseball All-Star Game is over, and because of that, we've kind of reached a unique spot on the sports calendar. Yesterday, one of the only days of the year where there is absolutely nothing going on in any of the four major sports in this country, and as a result, ESPN's able to step in with their own made-for-TV award show, the ESPYs. That was the only thing, really, that happened last night. It took place in L.A., and comedian Shane Gillis was the host for the first time. The big question now is, how do you think Shane Gillis did? Well, I will let you guys decide. Bill Belichick was part of the opening monologue.
Shohei is a once-in-a-generation talent. No one's been able to do what he does at so many positions, pitcher, hitter, and bookie. A bookie is what Bill Belichick reads to his girlfriend before bedtime. They do. They read The Very Horny Caterpillar, The Little Engine That Could But Needed a Pill First, and, of course, the classic Goodnight Boobs.
All right. He started with that one. Not bad. Not terrible, but not bad.
No, the bookie line is very good.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
So he started with Belichick, and then, of course, you go with other people of note throughout the sports year. Let's see how he did with Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders had his jersey number retired at Colorado this year, and people are saying it's because of nepotism, because of his father, and it's not. It's because he went 13-12 over his career, and he almost won the Alamo Bowl. Definitely not nepotism, right? All right.
All right.
He stumbled over the punchline a little bit, but it's
beginning to fade a little bit.
See, here,
beginning to fade just a wee bit.
As Norm Macdonald famously found out, these people that he's talking about, Shedeur Sanders is there, right? He's in the room.
Yep.
Yes.
You're making fun of him to his face. They never take it well.
No.
Shedeur Sanders looked like he was ready to crawl under his chair. Nobody around him is going to laugh at him. Like, that's why Shane Gillis is like, that joke bombs.
Well, you're in a room full of people who, for the most part, have been told that they are great since the age of 10, 12, at the latest 15 years old. You are great. You are going to be a star. You are in the you're among the very best in the world at this. That is going to affect you in some way. And one of those ways, I believe, is it makes you largely humorless.
They have massive egos.
Yeah, and they're just
will
That's
not,
why it's great to kind of watch the reaction. That's how I see it. I mean, look, this whole thing is contrived. They only give awards to the people that can actually make the event. You know, it's all scripted.
I don't know. As an Eagles fan, I'm celebrating harder than when they won the Super Bowl because they were they won the best team award.
Congratulations.
They beat all the champions from all the sports.
I'm very happy for you, Ryan. Gillis was done with Shedeur Sanders. Now it was time for the main event. Caitlin Clark, I mean, she's the most famous person. She, of course, was not there, but they were Caitlin Clark jokes. I will play you two of them. These are the main two that Shane Gillis had.
Okay.
You ready?
I was thinking about this last time. Like, we're going to play this one?
Oh, yeah. We're playing.
Okay. The big year for the WNBA. I love Caitlin Clark. Hell yeah. Caitlin Clark, she and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes. All right. There you go. Lighten up a little.
All right. That's one.
Not a bad line.
That's good.
Not bad, but this is the one Hardy was scared of.
When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist-fighting black women.
Okay.
It's right about this time that the Disney executives were wondering who booked this guy.
The backlash, and I had to go to X because that's where you get the most backlash and people just outrage. The backlash was tremendous. Everyone was so angry at him for telling this joke. And I just like you were saying,
Okay,
Ryan,
but
not a lot of people laughing.
Who is angry? Waffle House? Black women? Caitlin Clark?
It seemed like black men, to be honest with you, were the most angry from what I saw online last night. I don't know why, but that seemed to be the case.
Okay. I don't know how you get angry over it. The whole point of it is to, offend in some way, offend someone's sensibilities. That's kind of like the point of telling a joke. If it's a pun, you're trying to, offend their sense of intelligence or something. But yeah, it's offensive. I guess I'm not surprised that people are upset by it, but I can't figure out in my head who would be.
But there's been way worse at this particular event over the years, especially when Norm was hosting.
Yeah.
This is on a scale of 1 to 10, this is like a 5 at worst. And people were outraged.
Right.
I don't get it. So you were talking about Norm Macdonald, Ryan, and Shane Gillis wrapped up his 10-minute monologue with this.
There's one thing I want to say before I get out of here, and this is a dumb joke. You guys aren't going to like it, but it's just a Norm Macdonald joke that I loved when he hosted the ESPYs, and I'm going to do it now. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy this year. He's the first defensive player since Charles Woodson to win the Heisman. Congratulations, Travis Hunter, winning the Heisman. That's something they can never take away from you unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case they can take that away from you. Well, see, a lot of you don't like me, and that's okay.
Another thing he did last night was laugh a lot at himself. It's probably a nervous tick considering this the first time he had done it, but he did a lot of laughing at his own jokes, which is never a good thing if you're a comedian.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and it's part of his delivery. I think kind of regularly he's not an anti-comedian in that he still tells jokes, and he's very funny guy, and he's got some I think classic mannerisms of other comedians. But the laughing at your own stuff, especially in that setting, I would chalk up more to the nervousness and the
sure
and like you described. Oh, I'm in a room full of people who are not ready to laugh. That's not why they're here. And it'd be a tough audience if they had all showed up for a comedy show, just based on who was there, much less an award show where we're all supposed to be told that we're great the whole night.
The ESPN people really put together a slam bang thing. All in all, an exciting night. Now, did you see the musical performance?
I saw musical performances. I was like in and out, and they'd be like performing like coming back from break and stuff like that.
Coming back from a break, there was a rapper doing his thing. I'd never seen him before. So Lonzo Ball, who is an NBA player, obviously steps out, had to introduce the musical guest, who turned out to be his brother, Jello. So none of us would have known it was the non-basketball playing Ball brother unless Lonzo Ball hadn't come out there and said, "This is my brother. This is his one rap song. You should really pay attention to it."
How was it?
Not good.
Okay.
Well, not good. He's not good. And I don't know why he's out there, but
you know why he's out there.
He was the only one who answered the email. I mean, this is bordering on NHL territory. Ladies and gentlemen, Matis Yahoo.
Come on, John. The NHL could not have gotten him.
You're right. Well, you never know.
That's the guy they shot for last year, and he turned him down.
You never know. Jello might have actually answered that call. Saying, no one else is asking me. Why don't I go to it's Vegas, right? They do it in Vegas every year.
They don't even do it. They just canceled it this year.
Really?
Yeah, no, they gave the stuff out in like a half hour on a TV commercial or a TV spot. and they literally brought the trophies to the guys who are playing golf in the summer and whatever.
Sad.
It's like their family shows up and say, "Congratulations, you won the Vesna."
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
They did it in an Applebee's. They double booked it with the Dundies one night. And
Jesus.
no one actually had to attend. That is maybe my favorite sports award moment. When the Real Housewives up there announcing Martin St. Louis.
Yeah, that's right.
Did anyone prep you people?
No, we're just happy we have this reality TV star who knows nothing about our sport deliver this award.
You don't have to know anything about the sport. Phonetically spell the name on the prompter or on the card. Like, make some small effort so that you can have an actual show.
Oh, man.
All right, so some of the people who did win, though, were not there.
At the end of the night, well, Caitlin Clark won an award, and she was the best WNBA player. You really couldn't give it to anybody else. But she's, the WNBA season's going on right now. They had a game last night, so she was not there.
Was Cooper Flagg there?
I don't know.
Okay,
I didn't
because
see
he
him.
won.
I know. At the end of the night, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won Best Male Athlete. He was there. And Simone Biles won for Best Female Athlete. She was there.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling, I may be wrong, they tried to give the awards to the people that would actually attend. That seemed to be the pattern for the evening.
Okay. I mean, there's some of these you just – Scotty Scheffler is at Royal Point Port Rush right now playing the Bridge.
I don't like the fact that John doesn't seem to think these awards are on the up and up.
Yeah, that's not.
I mean, are you telling me that Price Waterhouse doesn't tabulate the results and keep them under lock and key until the time that they were actually presented on stage?
I know. It's a character flaw I'm working through.
But some of these there's no one else you're going to give it to. You're going to give it to Scotty Scheffler, and he absolutely can't be there, and it would be ridiculous to give it to anyone else. So some of these, there's like no way around it. Well, I watched a little bit of it. This is a perfect segue for you, John, as we'll get the headlines here first. I was like, what else was going on last night? There were things going on last night.
There are things going on. It started at 1:35 this morning. That's something
one of them.
This is something that Hardy waits for all year. It's on right in front of him on the monitor. We're going to try and keep his attention through the next segment. We're going to talk about the Open Championship next, and you know what? Maybe a little soccer, because that, damn it, is all we have to speak about here in this first hour.
There were WNBA games last night.
We're going to go right past those. We're not mentioning those.
Anyway, Caitlin got hurt the other night. So
why
didn't play,
bother?
so.
There's no reason to talk about it.
I did find it interesting. I did not know until they were getting ready to tip off there at the Garden the other night that everyone who was showing up to see her drain a bunch of threes, oh, no, she doesn't do that on the road anymore.
It's true. She's made 2 threes on the road all season, one of which was Monday night.
30-some attempts.
Right.
Yeah. Still
early in the season, though.
Those aren't falling. All right, we'll get the headlines here from Ryan. Here on Toucher and Hardy.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox off again today. They will get the second half to get going tomorrow. 3-game series starts in Chicago against the Cubs tomorrow afternoon. Sox still on that 10-game winning streak. NHL schedule released yesterday. Bruins opening night will be on the road against the Capitals October 8th. The next night, the Blackhawks come to Boston for the home opener. Former captain Brad Marchand returns to TD Garden with the Florida Panthers on Tuesday, October 21st. There's also the previously announced Stadium Series game in Tampa on February 1. Revolution lost to the New York Red Bulls last night 5-3 on the road. Reds will host Orlando on Saturday night. The NFL, Chargers running back Najee Harris going to be placed on the non-football injury list as their training camp opens today. Harris suffered an eye injury in a fireworks incident July 4th. Overnight, free agent defensive end Von Miller agreeing to sign a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders. Round 1 underway at the British Open, 78 golfers have begun their tournament. Jakob Skov Olesen of Denmark, 5 under par through 16 holes. That's good for a 2-shot lead so far. Headlines are brought to you by DN Van Lines. Take the chance out of your move. Make the sure bet with DN Van Lines and approve.
never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
On about an answer after he had won in Texas, and that was like the tournament he watched growing up. And you could say this about, like, I'm sure a lot of athletes who, watch the Super Bowl, and you watch the World Series. And once you finally do it, I'm sure this is not an uncommon feeling. You're like, so this is it, huh? The thing that I thought about nonstop as a kid, the thing that motivated me for years and countless hours, days, weeks, months of practice and honing my skills to achieve this. And the second it's over, life goes on. And that's what Scheffler talked about. And, he's married now. He's got a kid. And this is, I don't think he's alone in this sentiment. And you could say this about a lot of aspects of life. If you covet something or some event and you finally get there and do it, very few things live up to the expectation or give you the sense of, relief and accomplishment that you think it's going to give you. And even if it does, it's fleeting. It's gone. And he talked about it's like, now I did it. Now I got to get ready for the next one. It's not like you may have achieved something, but you're not done. Life goes on.
He's 29 years old.
Yeah.
He's made, how much money he's made on tour in 5 years?
Let me guess. Okay. I'm going to say just in prize money.
This is official money, according to his PGA Tour bio.
In 5 years. I'm going to say did he win the FedEx? I can't remember if he won the FedEx Cup because that's like an additional like 25,
which is a problem, by the way.
It is.
You're like one of the biggest golf fans I know, and you don't remember who wins the championship year to year.
Yeah, but because
that's a good point.
Because their playoff system sucks.
It does. He's won $110 million in prize
$88 million.
Okay.
In 5 years, he's won $88 million on tour.
I would have said 100 million.
Legitimately, in the next 2 years, he could surpass Tiger Woods for most money earned all time.
Right.
But
because the PGA Tour finally figured out we got to start paying these guys.
Right.
But more to what you were talking about, there are a lot of athletes in other sports that have gone through the same thing, like Tom Brady, for example, or Tiger Woods, or just pick. And I haven't heard any of them talk about this.
Right, because it's too real. It's too honest. Now, what are you saying, Ryan, that because he's won $88 million, he should be happy and feel fulfilled?
No, I'm saying at 29 years old and you've won almost $90 million in 5 years, you've already got majors in your pocket, so it's not like you're, chasing that. You've won, what's he won? 2 Masters. He's still hasn't won a U.S. Open yet.
No,
and he hasn't won this one yet.
Yeah, no, he's got a couple Masters in the PGA, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think what he's saying though is something that a lot of guys have felt, but maybe if they've expressed it, we haven't heard it, and it hasn't come from somebody who is like at the very top of their game. I don't think Michael Jordan ever said after winning, a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever NBA championship, it's like, is this all there is? I thought I'd feel more.
But like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, like they're legendary competitors, right? Scotty Scheffler, as great a golfer as he is, does he strike you as a guy who would, run you over in the parking lot if you were having a race? Like he
did exactly that. He ran someone over
in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, he was trying to get to his tee time one time.
Arrested for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's exactly that guy. A bad example.
Now, he doesn't strike me as ultra competitive. He strikes me as a guy who's a hell of a golfer, but
doesn't have that.
He doesn't wake up every day going, I gotta beat Jack Nicklaus. I gotta beat the all-time record in majors.
As good as he is, as talented as he is, no, he does not have that Tiger thing, which is I'm going to go out there and smoke everybody.
Every time I get the opportunity.
Anytime. For a fleeting second, if someone thinks they're as good as me, or can beat me, I'm going to destroy them.
I'm going to hit this 2-iron over this big maple tree and stick it on the green within 5 feet. Yeah.
But I get it. It's put it another way. Someone once said that like life, at some point, as you grow, maybe into your late 20s or something, becomes this game of like, what's next? You do the thing, and that thing you may enjoy. It may fulfill or meet your expectations, but once it's over, now you're just thinking about what's next.
Like
now
you get to like 150, 200 mil, and then just be like, all right, that's enough. I'm done.
Yeah,
walk away. Just you know what? I'm going to go live the rest of my life. Not worry about competitive golf anymore. Although, what do you do if you retire and you retire from golf?
But
like, that's what people retire to do.
That's a good point.
There have been guys, and some of the other. I think Barry Sanders is a good example. To me, he is still. I know the stats don't back it up, but he was the best running back of all time. I never saw anyone with my own eyes that was better than Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
And he walked away from the game. It's just, no, I'm done.
Well, football's a little different, though, because every time you walk on the field, you're potentially, could suffer a catastrophic injury that could affect the rest of your life.
But I don't think that's why it was easy for him to walk away. I think it's just easier for some guys.
Well, some guys just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, there have been. Remember, San Francisco had like 4 of those guys in a calendar year just walk away.
Yeah,
but I mean
But I'm saying for someone
what Ryan is saying is true.
You can. It doesn't have to be one way. In order to be the best in the world at something, whether you're Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Barry Sanders, Scotty Scheffler, whatever, you don't have to be killer instinct, go, go, go all the time. This is what I live and breathe to do. It is possible to be that person, to have those skills and to be that good at something and just not care that much. And I would argue that sometimes that's what actually helps you succeed. I don't really care if you win or lose. I prefer to win, but it's not gonna ruin my day.
I think
if I lose, there's a great value in not caring for some personalities.
There is, but in order to be the tippy top of that list, I think you have to have that. I think you have to fear losing. I think you have to hate losing. You cannot stomach it.
You read
and, that's what drives you every single day to get to that level. If you don't have that, I don't think you ever sniff that.
All right, we'll step aside here, more headlines, and then we will get into some other. We're not going to talk golf specifically, but there have been plenty of other things to keep your attention in the sporting world, maybe, while everything else is on a break. We'll discuss those next. Hold on.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Celsius energy drinks.
Red Sox have one more off day in the All-Star break before they open up the second half with a 3-game set in Chicago against the Cubs tomorrow afternoon. Sox still on a 10-game winning streak. NHL schedule released yesterday. Highlights for the Bruins include opening night on the road against Washington, October 8th. The next night, October 9th, is the Bruins' home opener against the Blackhawks. Brad Marchand makes his return with the Florida Panthers to TD Garden Tuesday, October 21st. There's also the previously announced Stadium Series game in Tampa on February 1st. Revolution led 2-0 at halftime, ended up losing to the New York Red Bulls last night 5-3. Revs will host Orlando on Saturday night. NFL free agent defensive end Von Miller will sign a one-year deal with the Washington Commanders. NBA news, Bradley Beal agreeing to a contract buyout with the Phoenix Suns. After he clears waivers, Beal reportedly planning on signing a 2-year deal with the Clippers that would allow him to become a free agent next summer with a player option. And round one underway at the Open Championship. 78 golfers have begun their tournament. Jakob Skov Olesen of Denmark, 5 under par as he plays the 18th. He leads by 2 shots over Lee Westwood and Haotong Lee. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Lobster Lovers Weekend at the 99. Visit this Friday through Sunday and order the Colossal or Hot Buttered Lobster Roll, and you'll get a free 3-course meal upgrade. You gotta love the nines. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in around 30 minutes.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Half toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to be coming in.
Loaded up the call screener yet, but someone claiming to be someone I know is on the phone. Is Joey? Where are you calling from?
Right now, Hardy, I'm calling from California.
All right, it is Joey. I can tell by your voice. What's going on, Joey?
Scout may have crossed the picket line.
What's
is that true?
No, I don't think Scout crossed the picket line yesterday, but I don't know for sure because my son, he did it wrong. What can I say? He let her outside because he got excited because he thought you were there.
Wait, this is Joey, the trash pickup guy?
This is Joey, the trash pickup guy.
Joey, my apologies. Ryan
Hardy's dog misses you terribly.
Ryan Johnston just called
first hour.
Sanitation engineer, I believe, is your preferred title.
That's fine.
Okay, all right, whatever. What are you doing in California? And I know it's because you're not on your normal route, but aren't you supposed to be here doing stuff?
We extended the picket lines to California.
Oh.
And we shut down 5 divisions out here.
Wow. Okay.
Look at that. That's a guy who remains true to his union.
Have you
been in California? I'm going to California.
I've been in California for 2 weeks.
There you go.
Have you stood in front of any trash trucks for 2 minutes?
I have.
Okay. Now, this is fascinating to me. We were talking about this earlier, Joey. Is this like a negotiated thing that you're allowed to the guys who are on strike, they're allowed to delay pickup for no more than 2 minutes? Or is this something that you guys decided on your own? Or this was like at a bargaining table? How did this come to be?
We just kind of negotiated with the police officers so there wouldn't be so it would be peaceful.
Okay. All right. And when they were looking for volunteers to leave New England and go to California to show solidarity with your fellow striking workers, did you shoot your hand up in the air faster than anyone else? Or is this somehow like a perk that you got because you've been doing it for so long?
No, I shot my hand up. I think it's a great experience. I've never been on strike before, so might as well go all in on it.
Okay.
Well, hold on. There are 2 different experiences here. If he's helping in Sacramento, that's one thing. If he's helping in L.A., that's something entirely different.
Where
are you in L.A. in California?
Well, the first 3 days, Santa Ana, Long Beach, and Anaheim, and then the last 3 days in Gardena.
Where's that?
Pretty close to Compton.
Okay. All right.
Boy.
So, you getting any time to do anything else? You going to hit Disneyland or anything?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
It's work.
All right. I appreciate that. Now,
Hardy. It's like, this is a business trip. He's not out there just living it up. He's out there for a reason.
Hold on a second, Joey. Did you bring the clubs with
I
you?
know-
Did you bring the?
I knew that question was coming. I was told not to.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's always rentals.
Did you think about it?
Of course I did. But I figured I'd be working and there'd be no way to golf, so I sacrificed it and they're still at home.
All right. Now, you gave me the heads up on this. It wasn't, state secrets or anything, but you told me that there were issues going on with the upcoming contract. So I appreciate you giving me the warning on this. Is there anything you can tell us about the way, because this is affecting a lot of communities around Boston and all over the country? Where do things stand? What do you think?
I know they have another meeting on Friday with the federal mediator. My company will sit down, and the Teamsters have. I don't know. We're still a little far away. Our package is still $5 to $6 under the other two union companies, and that's all we're asking for. We're asking to be equal to them. We don't want anything more than them or anything less. We want to be exactly where the other two Teamster companies are, and the company won't budge.
Okay. So just personally, selfishly, do you think recycling might get picked up today? I mean,
God.
Joe, the and I know you're. Do you ever drive the recycling truck, or are you only? I only see you doing the trash.
That's all I do with the trash.
Okay, so maybe you don't have inside information that extends this far, but just for my own personal selfish reasons, I'd like to know if the recycling might be happening today.
If I was a betting man, I would say bring it back in until we get back to work.
Oh, my God. What is it? Oh, because the recycling is deemed not as important as the trash?
That's what I'm guessing.
Wow.
Boy,
okay.
Recycling generally doesn't smell. It doesn't, stink up the neighborhood the way trash does.
All right. What's
just
that?
a spatial problem.
If I was there, I would have taken a fly if you needed it.
I appreciate that. Well, I don't know what happened with Scout yesterday, and if she did cross the picket line, it was only because somebody looked at her and offered to pet her. You can't blame her too much for that, Joe.
I really can't. I can't blame her for that.
Well,
I'll
I appreciate
feed her when I come back.
I appreciate you calling in at 4 something in the morning in California.
He heard you cross the picket line. He was so angry he called you at 4 in the morning.
Not me. The dog.
The dog.
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling in, though, Joey. And I guess I'll wheel the recycling barrel back in the garage. All right, thank you.
All right, sounds good.
All right, see you, buddy. All right,
hey,
thank you.
All right.
He's in Gardena, California.
Yeah.
Hustler Casino.
Oh.
And the Lucky Lady Casino right down the street.
Wow.
They have I didn't know they had casinos in California.
Ryan, how did you know this?
I just pulled up I wanted to see where exactly Gardena was.
I was just thinking there was a road trip to L.A.
Right there on Google Maps, when you zoom in on Gardena, it's like the Hustler Casino, the Lucky Lady Casino.
I'm just saying, when did the Bruins visit the Kings last year? When did that happen?
That was in March.
Okay.
We did the whole California swing.
All right.
I've gotten engaged in some angry conversations with one of my neighbors before about me standing out there talking with these guys. Because it's worse than having somebody stand in front of the truck for 2 minutes.
It takes forever for them to do the block because it's Hardy who has to get his daily chin wag in.
It's because the truck, just stays on idle and it's kind of loud. And let's say, for the sake of argument, it's 7-something in the morning. This is back during the Zolak and Bertrand days, but I'd be out there talking to someone and they're like, I was trying to, sleep in a little bit, on this Wednesday morning. But that damn truck was out there idling for 5 minutes.
Yeah, if it just rolls by in 30 seconds, you can go maybe you wake up, you fall back to sleep. But when it's out there for 20 minutes.
Every once in a while it does one of those engine grunts and like,
yeah.
But, or just out there having a visit. And Scout's getting her, her
FaceTime.
Quality time, too.
Yeah.
All right, well... This is a real problem because I will wheel the recycling back into the garage, but there's no point in hooking up the pulley system. There's no more room in that thing.
So what do you do?
I guess just leave it there so it's not sitting out on the curb.
For how long?
It
doesn't sound like this is going to end anytime
until
soon.
the strike is settled. I don't know.
You got to get another barrel. You got to have contingency plans. I would think a guy like you who lives for this stuff would have a contingency plan. I mean, you're telling me this never entered your mind? You knew there was a strike. This never entered your mind that you might have needed a backup barrel.
You've got to have at least a couple of big, like, lawn and leaf barrels that you can utilize for the overflow.
But there won't be a pulley system. See, here's
and
the problem.
there won't be a dedicated spot for them in the garage.
Yeah.
Well, if you leave the other one out on the curb in case they come by.
Oh, in case.
Then you put the barrel in its place until that one fills up, and you just kind of keep the rotation going.
Like where your head is at.
Yeah.
This is all right. Now we're getting somewhere. We did request an extra recycling barrel not long after we moved in. They're like, no.
One to a customer.
It's easier to get surgery on your kid and meet all the protocols for ear infections than it is to get an extra recycling barrel from the town. It's like, you're going to have to show me you've got 9 people living in that house and that you're consuming all these goods. And it's like, seriously, you have to like jump through all these hoops. Your house has to be a certain size in order to have an extra barrel. They're like, no, your house isn't big enough for an extra barrel.
Size, what size? What's the criteria? What square footage are we talking about here?
They have their parameters, and we didn't come close to meeting any of them in terms of occupants, square footage, anything.
Can't give you an extra barrel. You might be making meth or something.
2,750 square feet and not a square foot less.
Nope. You're not getting there. All right, we were going to talk about the other things to watch right now, which we still can do because I don't think it's going to take a tremendous amount of time. But quite honestly, I got suggested by multiple people that I should be watching the Tour de France right now, which we've all seen it. Yeah. And look, I recognize the effort that it takes to do that many drugs and put that amount of chemicals into your system to compete in that particular sport. They are remarkable with the things that they will do to their bodies in order to compete. But the idea of watching cycling, even in the mountain stages, which is where it really gets good for these cycling folks, and I'll watch anything, man. I'll watch cornhole. I'll watch darts. I'll watch it if they're keeping score or there's a clock or there's something sporting going on. I will check it out. I haven't been able to do that one. And in terms of a summer sport, there are people who watch it and get into it.
You only watch the Tour de France for the same reason you watch NASCAR. You hope there's a big crash and all these bicycle people get flipped over. You don't want really bad injuries, but that's the only thing you would watch it for.
I guess maybe
I don't care where the peloton is. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me where the peloton is and how far behind you. This guy's leading the stage, but he's really 28 minutes behind the overall leader. I'm sorry, I can't deal with it.
The length of the event too, like at least in a NASCAR race or a Formula One or something like that. If I happen to turn it on, this happened several times in my life, where it's the final 3 laps of the Daytona 500. I don't know or care anything about it other than, there's something exciting happening and there could be a lead change here in the final 5 minutes. I'm watching. Absolutely, I'll watch something like that. So
you're talking...
But I don't think that happens in the Tour de France.
A sporting event doesn't need to last weeks? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe it does, but if it doesn't come down to
it really doesn't. Well, no sporting event should last more than a day.
Well,
you should be able to consume the entire thing start to finish.
They're touring France.
Hold on. You have the golf tournament, which lasts 4 days.
4 days. Okay. You're right.
So that the other part of it
but I can sit down and watch this round. It will take me 11 and a half hours, but I can watch this round start to finish on TV.
But the thing about the Tour de France is you were talking about watching the last 3 laps of the Daytona 500. Say you hadn't watched any of it, and you tune in for the final stage of the Tour de France where they ride up the Champs-Elysees. The race has been decided by then.
Right, that's my point.
There's no reason to watch the end of it.
There's no if it doesn't come down to the end, my chances of interest plummet. And even with golf, as boring and as like abhorrent as it is to some people, it does draw people in, like the final round of the Masters did with Rory. It was, puking all over himself in that final round and still figured out a way to win. It had to go to sudden death. Yeah, because it comes down to the wire. Like that's just an inherent human drama. It doesn't even have to be sport. But regardless of the sport, if the issue is in doubt, you tune in to see the issue resolved. And I don't think that happens in a month-long bicycle race.
It doesn't. That's the thing. It's there are all kinds of different. There's the yellow jersey, but then there's the polka dotted jersey for mountain climbing. There's so many different ways to score this thing and to win different. And then there is a time trial thrown in there. I don't. In the middle of it, it's bizarre, and I don't get it, and I don't like it.
All right. Well, then you don't have to watch it.
Thank
John.
you.
But we do have to talk to Ryan about the NHL offseason, and specifically what the Bruins have been getting up to. And everyone's super pleased with how they've handled everything.
By the way, just one thing about the Tour de France. Would that be the most pointless event to actually go and witness? I'm not talking about the end. I'm talking about like when they're riding through the mountains in the middle of France and people are gathered on the side of the road to see that group whiz by at
They love it.
30 seconds and then you're done. It's not even like the marathon where it's hours of people, going by in waves. It literally is the pack goes by and then it's done.
I've been told,
you never see them again.
I've been told that if the Tour de France happens to go through your town, it is like the biggest honor ever, and everybody comes out to watch. It's like a religion over there to actually watch these bike riders go by. It's really strange.
I might look out the window if they went by my house, but I'm not walking 50 feet to see that.
Yeah.
Nope. Not doing it. All right. Some Bruins talk with Ryan Johnston happening next here on Toucher and Hardy.
More.
only on the Sports Hub.
The home opener is against the Chicago Blackhawks. You ever been to Chicago? You see how fat those people are? They should put them on skates. November 11th. Oh, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. Are they still doing it this year? Every year, the Toronto Maple Leafs remind all of us that, you're not too old to try. November 28th, they got the New York Rangers. They're good for a Stanley Cup once every 85 years. February 1st, they got the Tampa Bay Lightning, which in my world is still an expansion team.
Yo, Dev, man, it's that time again. What time is it, Cool G? To get the party gushing with beats bum rushing. I posse MC with rhymes that's crushing. I stage at a mic and my two DJs devastating, Devastator, and DJ Michael K.
It's Toucher and Hardy Fred in Florida. So Ryan Johnston is here. Wallach and I. B-Rob is going to join us in the 8 o'clock. No, an hour from now. Let's call it an hour from now. But since Ryan is here, we're going to take full advantage and have him explain to us why everyone is so pleased with the Bruins and their drafting and their trades and the free agency acquisitions, everything that they've done so far here in the offseason. Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong. It seems that the hockey folk are less than impressed with how the Bruins have assembled their team so far to begin the 25-26 campaign.
Mixed reviews, I would say.
Is that what it is? Is that what you call it?
That's my read on it. Mixed reviews.
All right. Well, let's start with the positive.
Yeah.
In terms of positivity, what can you give us with what the Bruins have done thus far?
Draft might not have gone any better than it did.
Okay.
James Hagen's potential number 1 overall pick fell to you at number 7. Again, I've never seen the kid play, but I'm taking from people who have watched him and who have graded him. Like, this is a legitimate talent that fell to you at number 7, could wind up being the steal of the draft.
Okay.
So that's certainly is good news.
That's good.
Beyond that, there's a lot of questions. There really are.
Let me start with something here that I heard a lot about, that there has been an accusation hurled at this team, mostly by Felger, who pays a lot of attention to this because, number one, he's a BU guy. Number two, he is a hockey guy. I don't know if you listen to Felger a lot when he's talking hockey, but
my wife will tell you, how I yell at the TV a lot in the afternoon.
Okay, so you disagree with what he has to say on the sport?
Oftentimes. Yes.
Oftentimes. Okay, but he's passionate and he's invested. And
passion is can be a good thing.
And he has accused the Bruins specifically of being too Hockey East focused in their acquisitions, in their acquiring of players. Like, if you play at BC, you're just seeing that a lot because of maybe a certain front office guy goes to like every BC home game, and then it's a familiarity bias
back to
that
back
takes
first
place.
round. Back to back first round picks.
One thing that I certainly wouldn't do if I were in charge of an NHL team would be to draft players who play for one of the best college programs in one of the best college conferences. And I don't know why you would focus on those particular guys, and when there are so many, you can go out to Denver, you can go out to Minnesota and find players too, I guess, but it's not like they're taking from some garbage program in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, Boston College is one of the best. Not to mention, some of these guys haven't actually played there yet. Like James Hagens hasn't actually played there yet. So the fact that he was going to BC, they didn't go out and scout him at Boston College. He just happens to be going to BC this fall. Good on them. They can keep good tabs on it.
But they do mention it when they acquire players with some local ties. There was one in particular who I believe was misidentified. They kept calling Wagner by the wrong first name. But I think it's more of an aside, because for a player like Wagner, who had played in Anaheim, and then he comes back here, it's like he was the right player for them at the time.
They didn't trade for Charlie Coyle from Minnesota because he was a local guy.
Right. It's a throw-in at the end.
By the way,
he's also from, Walpole in Wagner's case, or, with Coyle, it's like, yes, here's the local connection in addition to why we chose him or traded for him.
There's like 3 places in the United States where you're likely to find players. Right? I mean, it's like the Boston area, the Minnesota, Wisconsin area, and
used to be Michigan. I don't know if it's that so much anymore.
Like Denver. The Midwestern guys, Michigan, Ohio
Wisconsin.
State, Penn State, they're that kind of. But legitimately, like that's where most of the American-born hockey players grow up. There are now that we're 20 years plus beyond adding in Florida and Tampa Bay and the Arizona Coyotes when they were a thing. Like you're starting to see kids in Southern California who grew up there who are now hockey players, but that part of it has grown. But still, if you're getting American-born players, a lot of them are going to come from New England. A lot of them are going to come from the upper Midwest.
The other argument against the Bruins offseason, Ryan, has been there were so many spots that were open that Don Sweeney needed to fill. You would have hoped he would have brought players in that at least had shown some ability to score. Instead, he went out and signed 4 or 5 guys that are checking line forwards. Giving Tanner Jeannot 5 years seems a bit much.
It does. Listen, I think Tanner Jeannot. I think people are going to like Tanner Jeannot.
Okay, I was going to say defend the Tanner Jeannot move because here is the 10-second encapsulation of it. Big guy to help you can stand up against some of the teams that have been bullying you off the puck and pushing you around. You already tried that. It didn't work.
Last year, he went and got like 3 sandpaper guys, and it blew up in his face. So what does he do this offseason? He gets
why are you
4
getting
or
another
5
guy?
Sandpaper
yeah,
guys.
why are you getting guys who don't score goals who are just tough? What's the point?
Well, I'm kind of interested to see where do the pieces all fit together? What do the lines end up really looking like? And what kind of team does Marco Sturm really want this to be? And is this him saying, I think, I scouted the team and I think we need to be tougher? Is this Don Sweeney and Cam Neely saying, we think we need to be tougher? Listen, it's clear from the moves that they did make that they're putting way more emphasis on defense and goaltending. They're putting more emphasis on being harder to play against. Listen, the team had a lot of problems last year. Scoring was certainly right up there, but their defense was porous. Their goaltending wasn't anywhere near as good as it needed to be, and they were not a tough team to play against, with the exception of of Kastelik, and you could throw Zadorov in there certainly because he muscles up when he needs to. Like, they didn't have a lot of guys that you really need to know when they're on the ice.
Yeah, when they're on and where they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jeannot brings a lot of sandpaper. Kastelik obviously is still there. Mikey Asimon is an interesting ad in that, his background in Tampa, like he comes from a kind of a winning culture down there. They're like, where does some of these guys fit in? Like, where does Arvidsson fit in? Is Casey Middlestat is he really your second line center? Can Zacha get back to what he was a couple 3 years ago? Who's Nadinov? Is there anything there? Of the young kids in Providence, Lysell, Merkulov, like, do any of them do Minton is certainly a guy that you would expect to get more than a cup of coffee at the NHL level this year. So, like, where do they all fit in, and are 1 or 2 of those guys going to pop when training camp starts and on into the season?
And one guy who seems to have some sort of scoring touch, at least in the past, is Arvidsson, who's in the last year of his contract. But you look at his last 2 seasons, I mean, he played for a loaded Edmonton team this last year, had 15 goals. I think he's been mentioned as a guy who can help on the power play. I think he had, 1 power play goal last year?
But you're playing on a team with McDavid, Draisaitl, and like saying, he's not a first option or anywhere close to it on that team.
That's all right, fair, but
go back to 2 years ago in Los Angeles.
Yep, it was hurt for most of the year,
26 goals, 59 points.
Yep.
If he puts up that number, 20 plus goals, 50-ish, maybe 60 points, he's a steal.
True. But the last 2 seasons, he was hurt 2 years ago, in his final year with the Kings, and then last season, 15 goals in 67 games for Edmonton.
Right.
And look, he's not the same player. I don't know if he'll wind up being the same player, but you look at Elias Lindholm's numbers when the Bruins went out and got him, the trends were similar.
He's in a contract year, right? He's coming here with a chance to. He's 32, right? So he wants to extend his career. He puts up decent numbers this year. He'll get a multi-year contract, getting decent money somewhere, whether it's here or somewhere else. I think that's an interesting roll of the dice for a guy who doesn't cost all that much money.
All right, hold on. We're going to get to some of the calls here. There are questions about the Bruins, questions for Ryan, questions about trash. We have a lot of stuff. Tim in Nashua, what's going on, Tim?
So, Ryan, you know what a big fan I am of Don Sweeney and his latest tenor. Can you please tell me, if you're in the situation that Cam and him are in, why wouldn't they try everything they can? Now, you can tell me that you heard something that they did try to move up to get Misa, but wouldn't you – he'd always trade a first-round pick, number one pick, to acquire a player. Why wouldn't he try his damnedest to get up there to number 2 and get Misa?
Well, again, I don't know that they didn't, but – I also know that Hagens is a pretty good pick, and they didn't have to give up anything other than the pick they already had. So, are you what? How fast are you looking to retool or rebuild this thing? Right? If you are taking a longer view, what would it have taken to move up from 7 to 2? Well, you're definitely going to have to give up at least another first-round pick to do that. Probably some more capital over that. So. What's one of the major problems with this organization right now? They don't have enough prospects who are legit NHL prospects. So, okay, you want to move up to get what you consider to be more of a sure thing, but you're going to have to give up either your own first rounder or the Toronto first rounder that you've got for next year. Maybe you have to give up Florida's first rounder from 2 years from now. Then you're taking away your ability to restock the farm system and get more of those guys under contract that will eventually grow into what you hope will be more of your core of this team going forward.
It just seems like some of the acquisitions are there to protect and to support a core that isn't there. The core of this team right now is, you rattle off 3-4 names and there's one true elite goal scorer among them. And some of the acquisitions they make, you're talking about with the size and strength, that'd be great if you had even like a small core of goal scorers to support, but you don't have that.
See, to me, when if you're going to move those future picks to move up, or for any particular reason, you save that ammunition for when you're trying to make a run at a Stanley Cup, which is what they've done in the last 5-10 years. Is at the trade deadline, they're willing to trade a first-round pick to bring in somebody that they think can help them win. A lot of times that doesn't work. You hope it does, but for whatever reason it doesn't. For most teams it doesn't. But that to me is when you deal those picks. It's not necessarily to move up 5 spots in a draft to get a guy who, you feel like is more of a sure thing when you ended up with one of the guys that most people think is a sure thing.
Okay, so John in Boston wants to talk about James Hagan. We have other hockey calls and everyone else. Hugh, Lucky, Kevin. You guys hold on for 1 second. We'll get to all of your calls next here on Toucher and Hardy.
Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy, no Fred today, but Ryan Johnston is here, so we're talking Bruins. John wants to talk about James Hagan. Go ahead, John.
Boys, love the show. Ryan Johnston, like, what? I mean, you sound like Dale E. Arnold today as, like, a Bruins mouthpiece. First of all, James Hagan played at BC. He played at the top line last year, but was woefully underperformed, was so soft. I mean, you sound, defending every move that they have made today, you sound like an absolute Boston Bruins mouthpiece and a suck-up. You're going to defend picks 13, 14, and 15 while you're here?
Well, John, in all fairness, that's exactly what he is. He is the Boston Bruins mouthpiece.
The mouthpiece of the Bruins on this radio station.
Good God. I mean, this is the. I mean, Johnny, you would take Dale E. Arnold to task if he was doing the same thing that Ryan Johnson is doing.
Well, that's a separate issue. That has nothing to do with Ryan. In Ryan Johnson's world, there's 60 games above 500. There have been, 7-time, Stanley Cup champions over the last decade. Ryan, they've made horrible moves. James Hagan is absolutely soft, and he did play at BC. But if you look at the first line of Peralt and Leonard and James Hagan is a nobody. They were a two-man game last year, and if you got your butt over to the Beanpot or if you got your butt over to BC, you see this
kind of
kid
busy
doesn't want
season.
it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, Hagan's played on.
He was a point a game guy.
Yeah,
he's soft.
The argument is the wingers he was playing with were so spectacular that inflated his numbers. That's the argument.
The reason that he dropped to 7 in the draft is because he didn't put up Macklin Celebrini kind of numbers as a freshman.
He's going to go back to BC this fall.
A point a
game
guy as a freshman is. I've called a number of college hockey games over the years. That's not unimpressive.
We'll see. I guess the counter argument to that will be the two guys he played with this last year at BC are no longer there. He's the guy that people are going to target as the number one center on a very good college hockey team. Let's see how he does this fall and winter.
It was Will Moore that I was thinking of. That's headed to he's headed to BC for the first time.
Yes.
That was the second round pick.
Gotcha. Robin Oxford, go ahead, Rob.
Hey Ryan, so I was listening to that whole Felger thing, and he was talking about how it seems over the last couple of years that the Bruins took a majority or a lot of players from BC, which is great if BC was actually accomplishing something and they haven't been in the Frozen Four prior to 2024 since like the 2010s. And it's not like the Bruins have a good young core that have been producing. He also looked back and saw that, the majority of the players that the Bruins have drafted aren't even on the team over the last 8 years. So you can't say that the BC players, while it's a good program, are producing NHL caliber players. So it's still a problem that they took all those BC players and didn't look at, Europe or the Midwest, who you said are a good program, but they haven't taken a majority of players from those places. So you can't say that BC is good and then not show the players on the Bruins that are from BC that are still on this team.
It kind of lost me in there somewhere. So
you can't say that BC has produced good players and then look at the Bruins and see the BC players that they've taken over the last 8 years who aren't on this team anymore because they haven't produced. So you can't say that BC is a good program, but then not quote the players that are on this team that are from BC still. They're not here.
Well, they
haven't produced.
The guys that we're talking about haven't, they're still playing in college. It's not like they've failed coming up through the minors and are not making it to the NHL. But you can't look at the kids from Boston College and go, well, they all suck. Well, no, they don't. It was Ryan Leonard who was playing alongside Alex Ovechkin by the end of last season. These are legitimate, really good up and coming players. Boston College is still producing talent.
I'm ill-equipped to talk about the history of BC players over the last 10 years drafted by the Bruins and other teams. There does seem to be, just anecdotally, let's just say a disproportionate amount of players from BC or Hockey East that do end up either being selected by the Bruins or acquired by the Bruins. And is it just the familiarity, the local bias? I mean, it kind of makes a good point. Whether it's European players or players from the Midwest, are they putting too much weight on the local factor when it comes to getting some of these guys on the team? I
just pulled up the Boston College roster from last year. You've got draft picks from Montreal, Tampa, Nashville, Rangers, Carolina, Washington, Boston, Dallas, Boston, Utah, and the Rangers. So it's like you've got 75% of their roster is already drafted, and it's not all Bruins. Now, yes, there were four Bruins. There were four Bruins on that team.
Did any other NHL team pick more than one player from BC?
The answer is no.
Yeah, the Rangers. The Rangers have multiples.
Okay,
2.
Yeah, they've got 2.
Okay, so the Bruins still took twice that number,
and 4 times as many as everyone else, other than the Rangers.
Right.
But again, some of those guys. Dean Letourneau was taken before he got to BC.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm guessing Oscar Jelvik, who was taken in 2021, he was taken before he got to BC. Like
Yes.
they happened to land at BC. They didn't get taken because they were here.
We're going to pivot away from all of this entirely, so we might as well do it first quickly with Hugh, who wants to talk. No, he doesn't. Now
It's
he's
nice.
gone.
We on hold?
Let's let that roll. It's nice.
No, we're not going to let that roll. But Kevin has comments on the most important issue of the day, and that is, of course, the Tour de France. Yes, Kevin.
Absolutely. It is the most important issue of the day. It's the most important issue every day until it's over.
Yes.
No, that's a joke. It's actually kind of difficult to get people to want to watch it. I used to race bikes for 10 years and traveled around the U.S. and went to Europe, and it would be hard for me to convince you to sit down and watch it for more than 20 minutes. It's a tough sport to really get into. But the best way to do it would be with someone who knows what they're looking at and what's going on and can explain it to you. 'Cause otherwise, you're just kind of watching a bunch of guys pedaling in circles for hours.
So, Kevin, I ran into some guys, sounds like maybe they were doing about what you did, like on these, I don't know, if they're the equivalent of like a minor league cycling tour that was traveling around. And I ran into these guys once. I was out of college, but still living in East Lansing, very successful. As I've said before, the sign of any great successful college career is if you spend 2 years in your college town after you graduate. But these guys were rolling through, and they were hanging out in the bar one night, and they had just competed some 80-mile race in the western part of the state. And I said to them, "Oh, well, when do you go again?" They're like, "Oh, we go tomorrow." I said, "What do you eat? Is it a lot of carbs? Is it a lot of like lean proteins?" And one of the guys said, "We eat as much of whatever we want." And he said, "Yeah, there are some certain things you do on race day, but for the most part, just eat, and then eat some more." Has that changed? Because that was a long time ago, but those guys didn't seem that concerned with their dietary restrictions. It was more about just shoveling in as much food as possible.
Yeah, well, I would say at the level they were at, the level I was at, that's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Until, we didn't get to the level of where you're putting the other stuff in your body that's a little bit, smaller and goes in different ways than your mouth. But
suppositories. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay. No, it wasn't
as much of anything you can eat.
Right. All right. Thanks, Kevin. No, we didn't even talk about the drugs as much as I'm like, so, what do you just, do like, pasta with chicken? He's like, well, I ate a gallon of ice cream before we came out to the bar tonight, and I've got another one waiting, back on the bus, and then we're going to get burritos.
You need to consume like 10,000 calories a day just to keep your weight up.
Yeah, because we're going to burn it all off by noon tomorrow. All right, Ryan Johnston has a game. Apparently, this is a big to-do. A big production.
Something I heard on the show the other day inspired me.
Okay. Can't wait to play it. We'll play it next here on Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Tomorrow, the Red Sox will open up a 3-game series against the Cubs in Chicago. They're still riding that 10-game winning streak. NHL schedule released yesterday. Highlights for the Bruins include opening night at Washington, October 8th. They will have their home opener the next night, October 9th, against Chicago. Brad Marchand makes his return to TD Garden with the Florida Panthers Tuesday, October 21st. There's also the previously announced Stadium Series game in Tampa on February 1st. Revolution dropped a 5-3 decision to the New York Red Bulls on the road last night. Reds will host Orlando on Saturday. NFL free agent defensive end Von Miller signing a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders. Chargers say running back Najee Harris going to be placed on the non-football injury list as they open training camp today. Harris suffered an eye injury in a fireworks incident July 4th. NBA news, Bradley Beal has agreed to be bought out by the Phoenix Suns and reportedly plans to sign a 2-year deal with the Clippers worth $11 million that includes a player option that could make him a free agent next summer. And round 1 underway at the Open Championship. Jakob Skov Olesen of Denmark and China's Haotong Li each fired 4 under par 67s this morning. They are tied for a 1-shot lead. Scotty Scheffler, pair of early birdies. He is 2 shots back. Headlines brought to you by the Albrecht Auto Group, Zoe's Auto Dealer. Purchase any new vehicle from one of their 8 dealerships and get the Albrecht Advantage, a 10-year, 150,000-mile limited powertrain warranty backed by Allstate Insurance. Connect with Albrecht at albrechtauto.com. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. We got more headlines in around 30 minutes.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app, the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Just looking at some of my long shots here on the Open Championship. Cece, our intern, asked me, she's like, what do you have in the oven? I said, what do you got? I went on a bit of a spending spree last night. I depleted the FanDuel account.
Wow.
With I believe I made, let's just say, a lot of $20 bets. And some of them, which Kendra has turned me on to, these top 5 and top 10 finishes, but sometimes they're in combination. Like they'll list 3 players, so 2 of these guys to finish inside the top 10. So I made several of those, but I also took, I don't know, maybe some longer odds, things like Tony Finau to win the entire thing.
I gave up betting on Tony Finau like 2 years ago.
Well, yeah, if he comes through, the coffee for everybody. I'm buying. All right. Ryan Johnston has a game that all I've been told is hang on to your hat. So
I was inspired. So the other day I was on my way to play a round of golf early in the morning, and I heard Hardy tell a story that inspired me, and I thought there's got to be something that we can do with this. And so with a little bit of research, we're going to play a game that I like to call Who is Knocking on Hardy's Door? Little known fact, this is not the first time that someone has come and knocked on Hardy's door in the middle of the night. So we went back and reviewed some Ring camera videos, got some audio.
Oh, I see.
And we will ask you guys to determine 2 things. Number 1, who is knocking on Hardy's door in the middle of the night? And secondly, should Hardy let that person in?
Okay. Well, I think knowing Hardy, the answer is always no, but well, I guess we'll go through it.
I think I understand the concept of the game, but we'll find out. Well, my understanding will probably be revealed after the first attempt here. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
So here's first scenario. We go way back in history.
Okay.
A young single Hardy in December of 1978 was living in a small apartment out in Queens when there was a knock at the door early in the morning. Sounds like 2 guys are outside, but they may have the wrong apartment because they're looking for someone named Stacks and saying something about police having found his van.
Okay.
Who is knocking at Hardy's door?
It sounds like Arnold Drummond and his older brother Willis.
That is so far wrong. I
have
can't.
no idea.
What? Wow.
I don't know.
That
Who's that?
That is an impressively bad guess.
Okay.
Number one, that you don't know.
No, I don't know.
And if you hadn't come up with a second name, I wouldn't have faulted you. But the fact that you think that this is somehow a different Strokes reference?
I have no idea who that is.
Because Stax?
I don't know.
I would have used the different Strokes clip, but I would have had to censor too much. There were too many F-bombs.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I am going to go with the two people knocking at my door are Tommy and Frankie Carbone.
Attaboy.
Well done.
Do you know who I'm talking about, John?
No, I don't.
You have to go.
Apparently I do. I don't know.
Stax used to play guitar, and everyone liked that he hung around. They even got him in on the Lufthansa heist. He drove the getaway truck, but he got stoned. He fell asleep at the wheel when he drove over to his girlfriend's. So Tommy, do you know what I'm talking about yet?
Goodfellas?
Yes.
Yes.
Tommy and Frankie went to pay him a visit.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
and
got it.
yes.
I don't know why. Now I got it.
And make that coffee to go. What are you doing? Put the coffee down.
Okay.
I mean, I put these together. I figured these were going to be
Not for me.
That's a layup.
super easy.
No.
And John goes different strokes.
Yeah.
So the real issue with that one was coming up with Frankie Carbone.
Yes.
But I got it.
Yeah,
What's Tommy's last name?
DeSimone. Also known as Tommy DeVito, but Tommy DeSimone.
All right. Very good.
All right. So there's one. We're going to move into a little bit closer to current day.
Okay.
With this next one. This Sports Hub caller would not be out to do Hardy any harm. After all, she was a frequent caller to the midday show for years before making the move to mornings along with Hardy. Then again, maybe she's upset that Hardy hasn't responded to all 59 emails she sent this morning. Or maybe the edibles have kicked in a weird way.
Can I come clean real quick?
Yeah. Yes.
About Hardy. This is going to get really uncomfortable. I'm very attracted to you. I think you're hilarious.
Who is knocking on Hardy's door?
Go ahead, Hardy. She's yours.
No. I want you to get back into the game, John.
All right, Sarah and Everett.
Very good.
Now.
Oh, Jesus.
Now,
hold on
we
a
forgot
second.
the second part of the question, which is, should Hardy open the door?
No. No. I met Sarah from Everett. No, he shouldn't open the door.
Okay, I would open the door for Sarah from Everett. I would not open the door for Tommy and Frank.
Even to explain that Stax lives...
265-35-897-932-3846.
Yeah, exactly.
Even to explain to them that Stax lives down the hall?
Not opening the door for Tommy and Frank.
Okay.
But Sarah is, no, she's not there to do me any harm.
Okay, so Sarah, if you show up at Hardy's door at 1 o'clock in the morning, he will open the door and greet you with open arms.
That is not what I said.
Yeah.
This is a fictional, fantastical scenario.
Okay.
That is not going to happen.
It is not a fantastical scenario.
I think
can
that's
absolutely
certainly
see
a
that
possibility.
happening.
Can you say with absolute certainty that you'll never see her knocking on your door?
Yes, because the green line does not go anywhere near my house. So,
all right.
Yes, I feel confident that she will not be knocking at my door.
All right, next up, we flash back to, this is about 3 years ago, Hardy. It seems like there may have been an accident. I'm not sure if Hardy should answer the door for this fellow Canton resident who's knocking in the middle of the night looking for her missing friend.
Stop it.
But if he did open the door, he would later tell investigators he knew nothing about it.
Did he come out and maybe trip or bend over to pick up his cell phone and I ran over his foot and then he passed out drunk? I mean, I didn't think I hit him, but could I have clipped him?
She's explaining a lot through the Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who is knocking on Hardy's door?
Madeline Albright.
This is exactly what he told the investigators, too.
Oh, Jesus. In my long-standing tradition, I have no opinion or comment on this matter, only to say I believe you are wrong in saying fellow Canton resident, never a resident of Canton.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
I do not believe Karen Reed was ever in a
Go.
That's right.
Now.
No.
Should Hardy have opened the door?
No. Comment. Zero comment.
Even though he was actually part of the trial for a period of time.
Got mentioned in the trial.
Part of the trial.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't know this story?
No.
Oh, yeah.
In what regard?
It's amazing.
Because she knocked on your door in the middle of the night? Is that?
No.
My name was brought up in the reading of text messages during one of those long text message.
So if you went back through like the official transcript of the trial?
And my name, I think Sports Hub gets mentioned. And I don't know, is Zolak and Bertrand mentioned, or did they say Midday Show?
I think it was Midday Show, and just your name was mentioned, as I remember.
Maybe.
I don't know if Zolak was mentioned.
Okay.
The point is, his name brought up during one of the bigger trials.
No wonder
of the
he's
last
so
decade.
evasive when this thing comes up.
Yeah, that's why.
All right, last one. He may seem like a nice guy, but why is this well-known Boston TV personality knocking on Hardy's door in the middle of the night?
Oh, I know.
Maybe he just happened to be in the neighborhood and wants to chat about the Red Sox. Or maybe he's out for revenge because Hardy keeps ruining his best rounds of golf.
Hey, Hardy, let me in. Here's Rochi.
Who is knocking on Hardy's door in the middle of the night?
I can tell you the answer to the second question is already no. But I can tell you that's absolutely, I don't care what he says, he's not letting him in.
Of course I'm
if
letting
Dan Roach showed up at your door at 1 o'clock in the morning,
yes,
you would open the door and let him in.
Did Dan provide audio and video?
No,
for
just the audio.
Just the audio. That's fantastic. You know, Dan really enjoyed doing that too.
I know he did.
Yeah.
Like I texted him the other day. I'm like, hey, I need you to do something for me. He's like, oh, no problem. Do you want it to sound friendly? Do you want it to sound menacing? Like,
menacing.
That was the menacing take.
Menacing.
You know, he kind of sounds like one of the scarier moments in film history. And they did a pretty good job of recreating it in the reboot of Salem's Lot. It's when the kid's friend, who has been, turned into a vampire, is floating outside of his bedroom window. And is Mark?
Yeah, tap.
Let me in, Mark. That Rochi kind of channeled that energy.
Let's hear it again.
For that.
Hey, Hardy, let me in. Here's Rochi.
Yeah,
it's really menacing.
I know he's going with the Shining thing there, but it's more
menacing, very menacing.
It's more Salem's Lot at the beginning.
Really, it bears noting as well, Hardy, and you'll appreciate this because of what you do. All of this written and produced by Ryan Johnston. Just given to the production. Here's all the pieces. Here's what we're doing. Done.
Ryan Johnston.
Amazing work.
Fantastic.
Work.
Well done. I appreciate it.
I've got a lot of time on my hands.
I can't believe Wallach's first guess of Arnold and Willis.
Yeah, I know.
Read the setup again, just so we can relive the glory of Wallach's first guess.
It's December 1978. It's not time-wise.
That's different strokes time. Yeah.
Hardy is living in a small apartment in Queens.
Hold on a second. Did the Drummonds live in Queens?
I do believe they lived in New York City, but not
Yeah,
Queens.
no kidding. I think it was Manhattan, though.
All right.
Sounds like two guys are outside, but they may have the wrong apartment because they're looking for a friend named Stax.
And I don't know how I missed that.
And saying something about police finding his van.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed that.
It's a very special episode.
Very special guess right there.
Start.
It wasn't good. What? It wasn't good. But I redeemed myself. I got the next one. So let's hear it. Let's hear it. Sarah from Everett.
Oh, you want to hear Sarah again?
Nailed it.
Okay, but I don't know what you want. What do you want to hear?
No,
Sarah?
I was just happy that I redeemed myself right after that. See?
Yeah, but it wasn't difficult. The only one where you really had to think about it was the Tommy and Frankie Carbone answer.
When you warm up, you make a layup, then you move out to hit foul shots and threes, right? That was a layup.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Thank you, Ryan.
Great job, Ryan.
Yeah, that was good.
Got one more to play us out with, too. So
Okay, Brian Robb is going to join us here in a few minutes. We'll be talking more off-season because that's what we're in here, which is why Fred is gone. And we still have a show to do here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Hold on.
Come and knock on our door.
Oh, Jesus.
We've been waiting for you.
What?
Where the kisses are hers and his. Three's company too.
You have to go now.
You're listening.
daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles? My simple daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles?
No, I was living by the river, but I came upstream. I let off steam, and now I'm buying another one. I came up out of the valley, no words for the wear, but with less to spend, brought along a friend, I can always use another one. Then.
It's Toucher and Hardy here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. Brian Robb getting ready to join us here momentarily. You got your headphone jacked there, B-Rob? All right.
Ready.
Jacked. He's jacked and ready to go. Fresh off the plane from Vegas, when did you get back?
I got back Tuesday night. So, some jet lag yesterday, and now good to go.
A jet lag. Stop it with the jet lag. It's 3 hours. Brian Robb is the Celtics beat reporter from MassLive.com and a contributor here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. So, out in Las Vegas.
Hot enough for you?
Doesn't get old.
I might call in tomorrow.
Oh, come on.
Out there for Summer League. So the first thing I thought about, because I obviously lived out there and have been back to visit during NBA Summer League. So I know what it's like this time of year. Just what is your day like? You're going like to and from the Thomas and Mack?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
and where were you staying?
So I was staying off the strip this time a little bit. I know.
What are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing?
It's the convenience of not having to wait for an Uber to go back and forth to the arena every time.
Okay.
Going off the strip.
All right. First things first, because the traffic is horrific.
Exactly.
And the last time well, not the last time, but 2 times ago when I was out there, my son, they were getting ready for the car racing,
F1.
the F1, and all the streets were either closed or being repaved, and it was just this double nightmare of not being able to drive around. But the traffic anywhere near the strip, unless the places to cut through and all the tricks, it's a nightmare.
And I probably honestly should have contacted you for I know you go back there at least once a couple times a year, right?
Yeah, this is like my longest drought though. It's been over a year, and I'm starting to get itchy. All right, so you're staying off the strip. I get it because it is for work.
Right. But obviously, generally I'm over there. Like the Celtics play day games, which is ideal for out there. So you're there during the day, you get your work done, and then you're able to, see the sights at night.
Except for the fact that you have to be out walking around, even if it's just in and out of an Uber and to and from the Thomas and Mack during the day.
Oh my God. It's brutal. You just like walking from, I got a ride from a buddy and we parked in the parking lot of Thomas and Mack. You're outside, you're walking maybe like a third of a mile, a quarter of a mile to get in. And even then, I'm just like, I need to go take a shower right now.
Because number one, you're on the pavement, and it's just, the heat is blasting back at you. What was the highest temperature you looked at on your phone while you were out there?
I believe it was 114.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, God.
It's a dry heat.
It is. It is a dry heat, but it's the type of sun blasting down on you where you feel unsafe. Like this isn't good for me. I feel my skin cooking. This is not good.
Would you guys prefer a dry heat or like the humidity?
Oh, give me the humidity. No, of course the dry heat. But 114 is still 114.
There are limits.
Yeah, an oven is a dry heat. So that's part of it. Now, the reason why I'm leaning into this part of it so much is because, as we've talked about before, the folly of the A's building their stadium there, which, to your own eyes, Brian Robb, how much building was going on at that stadium while you were there?
From afar, nothing. I saw nothing of consequence being up there.
That's what we were talking about. They, quote unquote, broke ground a few weeks ago, whatever it was. Fred's theory remains the right theory, is that they're never going to Las Vegas. They're going to stay in Sacramento.
Well, they broke ground and had a bunch of construction equipment there on site that was all rented for the day. They just borrowed cranes and bulldozers. It's true. The story that we read here last week was that all those things were props that they just brought in for the ceremonial groundbreaking. Like the Tropicana was going to get knocked down anyways, so what? But the idea that they're going to be able to build this thing as construction costs have gone from, I think the number was originally $1.5 billion. They're up now to 1.75, could be as much as $2 billion. The owner is going to have to come up with that out of his own pocket. So, he's a billionaire. It's a $500 million, and he's not Elon Musk. You know,
they are 1.35 billion short right now. That's what he has to come up with in private financing.
And that is if the construction costs stabilize.
Think about the lack of revenue streams. Think about what that Oakland Coliseum looked like for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Think about his payroll that he had in a decrepit stadium. He has no money, relatively speaking, to the other owners in Major League Baseball.
So he doesn't have the money he has the money right now. He's got, some funding from the city or the state, which no one is happy about.
$380 million.
Right, but he has to come up with the rest of it. Now, does he have it? Yes. Does he want to take 20% of his net worth and dump it into a stadium that is going to be filled with, all the Oakland A's fans who are going to transplant to Las Vegas to watch their team 81 times a year? No, that's not a thing. The built-in fan base for the A's, like the Raiders had? No. The Raiders have built-in fan bases in a lot of cities around the country, including Las Vegas. Huge Raiders contingency there already. But that's also the NFL, and people will just go to an NFL game. Oh, why will they? Well, the NFL is great to go to, and also going outside to get to and from the stadium in the football months is a lot better than going and walking around Las Vegas trying to get into a stadium in July. So the idea that locals are going to take these games in is kind of silly. And now to my point, Brian, Rob, can you imagine, as a Red Sox fan, say, you know what? Let's go out to Vegas. They've got a 3-game set against the A's, and we'll go to a couple of games and we'll do that. What are you thinking that first night you leave your hotel? Oh, boy, traffic. It's going to take us so long to get down there, and this monorail doesn't even stop on that side of the strip, I don't think. We'll just walk down there. So you're going to walk. I can see it. It's right there. It looks close. Yeah. It's going to be about a 30-minute walk. It would probably take you 20 minutes from Mandalay Bay, which is across the street, by the time you navigate your way through the hotel, over that walkway, over to the New York, and then back. However you're going to get there. I guess it would be at the Excalibur, but still, nothing's close. Crossing the street takes you 7 minutes because it's 8 lines of divided Las Vegas Strip, and you got to wait for the walk.
You got to take the escalator up. You got to go across the street, but take the escalator back down.
So, as a fan, Brian Robb, having just been out there at this time of year, what do you think you're going to be thinking when you first walk to that game for your game tickets for the first game of the set?
I'm never doing this again in July.
Never doing this again.
Yeah, and that's game 1. Actually, I would imagine some fans are like, you know what? I'm thinking about eating the money. I'm going to turn around and go back to my air-conditioned hotel room. That's fine. You can have the $14.99. You can have however much it costs. $30 for my bleacher seats. By all means, keep it. It's worth it to me. I don't even care if it's a dome. Is it a dome? I don't know. But even
it has to be.
Even
if there's no way it can't be a dome.
I heard rumors of retractable roof, but whatever.
But $2 billion, it's a retractable roof.
So whatever the point may be, I am of the mind where you get out there, it's 114 degrees, you go about, a dozen steps, and you're like, you know what? It's worth the money to not go. It's worth the money not to have to walk the half hour and negotiate the walkway over the strip and come back down. And great, I can see it. Fantastic. I'm going to an air-conditioned casino. That's what I'm going to do.
I'd
rather lose money at the ballpark and lose money in this casino than have to walk a half an hour in this.
Now, having said all that, how's the attendance for these Summer League games?
It's pretty solid. So they have, the Thomas Mack and Cox Pavilion, they're connected there.
Yeah.
So like Cooper Flagg was playing, pretty much all of Thomas and Mack were full for those games. They generally fill up for the Lakers games, like the West Coast teams.
Yep.
But all the Celtics games were pretty packed too in the Cox Pavilion. So you're probably looking at between 10 to 15,000 people in the building.
Jesus.
Split between the two arenas.
A lot more than I thought it was going to be.
That's impressive, but it's also for how long does it last in totality?
Right. If you're in there, you get to watch up to 6 games. So it starts at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and it goes to like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but it's for 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. It goes for 10 days.
Yeah, 10 days. So, all right, if you want to gut it out, and it might be your one shot at seeing Cooper Flag, or if you're a Lakers fan and you're, going to just, make the drive in, and it's like, all right, we'll gut it out for one day. But to think that people are going to be like planning summer vacations around attending baseball games in June, July, August, even into September. Someone did not think this through. It's not like I was having this argument with someone. They said, well, the Golden Knights didn't have a fan base there. I said, no, but it's a brand new team. And for whatever locals don't have a hockey team already, they can make this their own.
And again, it's September to April. It's not June, July, August.
But most importantly, they were the first. They were the first major league sports franchise to be in Vegas, so it's cool and it's different and it's something new.
But according to John Fisher, the owner of the Athletics, he says Nevadans love baseball. So putting 33,000 people into that building every day won't be a problem. Nevadans love baseball.
Yeah. You would know, Hardy. What AAA team have you? How much AAA baseball did you watch?
I went to a 51s game.
One. You went to one.
Yeah.
What was the attendance there?
I don't know. I believe those were during the fuzzy years. So I'm not sure.
Okay.
I did a lot of stuff that I either don't recall the details of or don't know about, and I get told later. It's like, hey, remember that one time we did that? I do not. But I will take your word for it. How was it? Did we have fun? All right. So you were out there watching mostly Celtic stuff, or you just watching everybody?
Yeah, mostly Celtic stuff. I went to the Cooper Flag games, the ones he played in, and then I saw 3 Celtics games. And then when you're working there, you just take in other games. But I'm not paying. I watch Dylan Harper and watch other top draft picks, but mostly focused on the C's.
Okay. So let's start with Cooper Flag, I guess, because that was the main story of Summer League so far, and the small amount that he did play, apparently in that first game, he was not impressive.
Yeah, he was like 5 of 21, but that's pretty normal for the rookie nerves. Again, it was a packed house there, and Summer League basketball generally is just pretty brutal. There's no spacing. And so guys like that, if you're just not hitting your jump shot, you can look like a mess. But the rest of his game is very much NBA ready. And then he bounced back in game 2. He's looks like to be a great defender, can push the ball up the floor, unselfish. So I think, again, how he'll work with Kyrie, how that dynamic's going to work in Dallas, there's going to be a lot of craziness around him based on what that franchise has done. But he certainly looks to be the real deal.
In terms of how he's, and again, I don't know who he was playing against, how many actual NBA guys.
Oh, Bronny James played against Bronny James. Oh, it was a big deal. Bronny James is guarding him.
I always wonder about the size and the build for these guys who come out that early, and it's not a good comparison because who he's out there playing against. But you say his game looks NBA ready. Physically, does he look NBA ready?
He definitely could put on some muscle. That's something where, and I don't know if it's just his body type, but he looks, I guess, a little lanky, if you will, for a 6'8", 6'9" guy. But I think you could compare it to what Jason Tatum. You look at what Jason Tatum looked like in his first summer league versus now, and it's a totally different person.
Cooper Flag's 18.
Right.
I mean, that you're going to get some lankiness.
Exactly.
He's not going to be,
Tatum
an
is
action figure.
Tatum is a great example. I mean, he's, unrecognizable from the neck down in terms of how he started and what he is transformed into.
Exactly. So that's just going to be working with, an NBA training staff, strength and conditioning coach, for a couple of years, and it'll just be transformation there for him. But for now, it's he very much looks like an 18-year-old, to your point, John.
All right. More from any of the other teams, but mostly about the Celtics and what B-Rob gleaned from his time in Las Vegas. We'll do that after the headlines here from Ryan Johnston on a Fredless Thursday here on Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Final day of the Major League Baseball.
extensively throughout this week. I think their last game is tonight, actually, against Bronny James and the Lakers.
Big one.
Yeah, a huge one. But, I mean, did we learn anything in these other 3 games that might actually impact the team this fall and winter?
I would say, I guess, a little bit, just because these guys are going to have to play, John. Like, you look at Shireman and Jordan Walsh and potentially, a guy like Amari.
Ugo Gonzalez,
exactly.
Is he going to play this year?
So he was a bit of a mixed bag. The first game, you could see the potential there. He got some nice offensive rebounds. Defensively, his motor was running high. Like, a lot of ball pressure. And then in game 2, I think he had like 7 fouls and 6 turnovers and couldn't hit a shot. So very much a 19-year-old. So that's
you would expect, yeah.
Right, what you would expect. So, but they need one of these guys to hit, essentially, John, of like whether it's Walsh, Shireman, Gonzalez, like someone on the wing eventually in a year or two when Jason Tatum is back and they're trying to fill out this roster with useful pieces to replace all the guys they lost this offseason. Like, ideally, you have cheap talent in the pipeline. And so I think for me, Shireman has probably stood out the most this week. He's not hitting shots, but he looks like he can handle the ball well. He can handle the pick and roll well. So that's someone now, if Peyton Pritchard ends up in the starting 5 next year in place of Drew Holiday, you could see a lot of Shireman just like coming off the bench, maybe in a ball handling role potentially with the second unit.
What is the feeling by you guys, the media and the fans surrounding this team? Obviously, the talent drain has been immense from 2 months ago to now. They really haven't replaced the guys that they've lost. I don't know who's going to be the center this year. I don't think the Celtics know who's going to be the center this year. It just seems to me like this team has taken not one step back, but several.
Yeah, the center position is kind of just a wild. You look at it around the league right now, it's like, is this, from a depth chart perspective, is this like the worst front court in the league right now? And
it's possible.
It's possible. I mean, based on the guy's track, from an experience standpoint, that's what it looks like. But the thing is, like, guys like Keita and Luka Garza, they just haven't had opportunities. So they're just unknowns. So it's possible they are playing, once they get real playing time, they actually, like, break out a little bit and are better than some, middle of the road teams on that front. But for now, it's just from going from Horford and Porzingis to Keita, like Xavier Tillman and Garza. It's just like, wow, that is a sharp drop off and will lead to obviously plenty of holes poking up and probably on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, I don't know how they plan on plugging those holes or what the plan seems to be, because as you said, and it's not hyperbole when you're talking about that area of the team, and forget about depth, just your starters.
Yeah.
Like, who's the front court for this
you
team?
You have 3 starters at the moment. You have Derek White, you have Anthony Simons, who they're actively trying to get rid of, and you have Jaylen Brown. Who else starts for this team?
I think, honestly, even if Simon's there, I start Peyton Pritchard, because that's just the guy, A, you want to know if he can be a starter in this league on a regular basis, and B, he's signed for 3 more years. Simons, if he stays here, he's probably just going to be here for a year potentially. And so I would want to invest that time into a guy like that. And then beyond that, I don't know, like, John, do you go like Sam Hauser, like, and just go small ball as another, forward alongside Jaylen
I thought
Brown?
They were trying to get rid of him.
Right?
Apparently not.
Apparently not at this point. It's they're going to have to, my guess is they're going to still do some more trimming, whether it comes this summer or during the season. That remains to be seen. But Hauser's on a good deal. And so ideally, if push comes to shove, he's safe? Like, no, he could be moved for the right deal. But he's making $10 million for the next 4 years. So if you move on from him, then like you better hope that Baylor Shireman's ready to go as a replacement, because if he's not, then that's another hole you have in your rotation.
You wrote something for Mass Live this morning. I saw you just posted it about an hour ago. The Celtics are still over the second apron, right?
Yes.
They spent all of this time trying to get underneath the second apron, which is, kicks in the repeater tax and all these draconian measures to really kill a franchise. They're still over the second apron, right?
Right. Just by a little bit right now. But for the time being, they are there. If they get down to 14 players, if they cut a J.D. Davison or just move another player, they'll get under it. So they've done all the tough work essentially now, but they're still over the tax by $20 million. So they're still very much a high tax paying team with this roster. And so it'll be fascinating to see in my mind of what they do going forward. Like if they try to, Brad Stevens talked last week of being like, we want to keep our assets. We don't want to lose assets just to dump money, and so that's a good stance to have. But are you better off saving that money for next year when Jason Tatum is back and you're kind of full go, rather than spending that type of money on a team that obviously does not have the most impressive foreign court, to say the least?
So when Brad says that, do you think ownership believes that?
I think honestly, Ryan, I think it's just smart public posturing, but I do believe like they probably had a payroll set like this for this season, assuming Jason Tatum was healthy. So I think they were willing to spend, like, this is the window now. The window to compete for this team is now. And so I do believe it's there. I think now after Tatum's injury, they can spend to this level if they need to. I don't think strategically it makes much sense to. I think you're much better off saying, okay, let's dump some more money now, and then next season we can spend that much more when Tatum is back, and we can kind of spend well into the tax again and give ourselves the best chance to compete in what should still be a wide open East. So, but posturing wise for trades, it's good to say, yeah, we can stay right here. So that way other teams can't go to you and say, all right, like, give us your first round pick because we know you need to dump money.
Ultimately, though, as we move forward 3 years out, is it feasible to keep both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the roster, considering the penalties that the NBA has ready?
It is, but it's going to be, your margin of error, John, is very, very small. And so you have to hit on all these guys on the fringes. Like, you already have, like, your Pritchards, your Sam Hausers, your Derek Whites, but then it's like, all right, who's going to be your next Al Horford or Porzingis or even a Luke Cornett?
And you're drafting outside the lottery. Seriously,
right,
you're drafting outside the lottery.
Exactly. So you have to hope that Gonzalez hits as like a 19-year-old, that he's ready to go in a couple of years. Or,
but that what you just said, I think, is maybe the most worrisome. You're not looking for your next Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown or anything like that. You need your next Luke Cornett. Yeah. You need that next guy as a depth piece, somebody who can come in there and block shots or just give you like a representative effort on offense. Someone can go in there and hang with NBA players where it's not going to be some immediate run that happens when your starters go out and guys like him come into the game, because that's a huge component in putting up big win totals during the regular season, is having those guys available who can go in and do more than just hold down the ship, but actually contribute to the win a little bit.
Exactly. You have to have guys that can hold their own. They don't need to be all-stars, but they need to be able to fit in well around Tatum and Brown, and that's like, obviously Horford did that tremendously, Porzingis did it, but even a guy like Cornett who would just know his role, get offensive rebounds, set screens to get Jason Tatum open, and
that's Luka Garza,
right?
Basically.
So they're trying to, and they've done this before. Like Hauser was undrafted, Cornett was bouncing around in the league, and then in G League when they got him in the system and they turned him into these guys eventually that helped them, and so now I needed to do that again. So like Garza is a bet on that. He's a lottery ticket, if you will. This guy out of Minnesota, Josh Minot, is more of a wing, but very defensive minded.
But it's important to mention that neither of those guys got on the floor for Minnesota.
So they were available for a reason.
Yeah.
And Minnesota did like them a favor, essentially. Like those guys, those teams are pretty loaded in Minnesota, and so they pretty much asked out, I think, for this offseason because they want an opportunity elsewhere. So it's going to be sink or swim. It's like we don't know what it's going to look like with those guys, but they're at least going to get a chance here. And what happens this year is going to be fascinating from that standpoint.
All right, Brian Robb. Thank you for coming in. Now that you've gotten over your jet lag, I can't believe you mentioned jet lag.
It's a long flight, Hardy. It's a long flight. It was delayed, and it's more of I get home and then I'm on West Coast time still, so I don't fall asleep till like 2 a.m. And then I'm messed up when they get woken up by my 4-year-old in the next morning.
That 3-hour time difference. Some people take a week, to get themselves back on schedule. But the fact that you're here, 2 days later, shows what a trooper you are.
I mean, you guys, you have it really easy just getting in here every 5 a.m. every morning. So
Joey the trash guy, who is on strike right now, but is showing solidarity with his union brothers and sisters, called in this morning from California at 7:15 Boston time.
You know why? Because he's still on East Coast time and he can't sleep. He'll be jet lagged when he comes home.
He's using the jet lag to his advantage right now.
Thank you, Ryan. When I go out west, I'm up at 4 a.m. too.
Thank you, Ryan. That's absolutely right.
Yeah,
put that in your pipe and smoke it there, Hardy.
You didn't have to finish that whole statement, John. The supporting of Brian Robb and propping up Joey at the same time, I applaud you. I applaud you, Ryan. And
Sorry, Ryan's the best.
Yeah, thank you. Let's not go too far. He's fine.
Can't wait to hear him on the call.
I'm like top 5. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the
that's-
best. I'm like top 5.
He's fine. He's you know what he is a Bruins mouthpiece. We found that out earlier.
Right.
Someone accused him of being a Bruins mouthpiece, and I said, "Yeah,
that's what I get paid for."
That is his job." B. Rob, thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks for having us.
All right, we're gonna take calls first, but then we'll try this other thing. We got a bunch of calls to get to, so stay with us. Mere moments, and then we will talk to you here on Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Stay tuned for more
business. Ask your independent agent about safety.
From the Tell Your Time Studios, WBZ FM and HD1.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Paisley Media Group Station.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
One more off day for the Red Sox on the All-Star break before they open up the second half with a 3-game set against the Cubs in Chicago tomorrow afternoon. Sox still riding that 10-game winning streak. NHL schedule released yesterday. Bruins will open up on the road against the Washington Capitals October 8th. The next night, October 9th, the Blackhawks come to Boston for the home opener. Brad Marchand and the Florida Panthers will visit TD Garden on October 21st. There's also the previously announced Stadium Series game in Tampa on February 1st. Revolution dropped a 5-3 decision to the New York Red Bulls last night after leading 2-0 at halftime. Reds will host Orlando on Saturday. The Chargers say running back Najee Harris will be placed on the non-football injury list as their training camp opens today. Harris suffered an eye injury in a fireworks incident on July 4th. Round 1 at the Open Championship going on as we speak. Jakob Skov Olesen of Denmark and China's Haotong Li, each with 4 under par 67s early this morning. They are tied among one shot ahead of a group that includes Matt Fitzpatrick. Headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. With over 50 trucks on the road, because your clogged drain is their emergency, go to johnssewer.com. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. We got more headlines in around 30 minutes.
To us, Boston. I'm a Bostonian. This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's called rising and grinding.
Start your
Got your finger on the pulse, Fred. Seldom right and never wrong.
Right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
I know, looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
All right, it's Toucher and Hardy. There is no Fred Toucher today or tomorrow, but we have Ryan Johnston and John Wally, and we have you on the phones. Casey in New Hampshire has a very important topic that we have not yet broached this morning. Casey in New Hampshire, what are you calling about, Casey?
Hey, Hardy.
Hey.
Thank you for having me on. Love the golf show. Love you as a new addition. I'll get to it quick. And hey, Wallach, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, Colt. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Just, don't step on all the jokes. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, last night at the Coldplay show, apparently there was a CEO and director of HR embracing. And I can't show you guys the video, obviously, but I hope you saw it in the break.
Oh,
what do you guys think of that?
Not only have we seen it, but we have the audio here. Okay, so and were you at the show by any chance?
No, I'm not a Coldplay fan. I listen to real music like the band Fish.
Oh, boy.
Hang up on this guy. Hang up on him.
I'm not going to hang up on you, Casey, but you're on very delicate ground here. So just take it easy. So here is the audio now. Is this Chris Martin responding to what ended up on the video screen? Is that what we're going to hear here, 12?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so if you haven't seen the video, someone is taking a video of the Jumbotron at Gillette Stadium, and they're just doing crowd shots. And someone gets up on the screen. It is a man, appears to be in his 50s, embracing a woman, like hugging her from behind, kind of rocking back and forth. And they, too, are up looking at the video screen.
Seem very much in love.
Yeah, they seem very, very close, a very intimate moment of this couple captured on camera. The second they realize it's them on the video screen, they both turn away. The guy...
She literally puts her hands up in front of her face, covers her face.
Yes, and the guy, it looks like they're up on like the standing room section behind one of the end zones. It looks like where they're standing. He may have jumped over the railing down onto the concourse below.
He ducks down underneath the seats in front of him.
Yeah, he is out of the picture, literally. The woman just stands with her back to the camera, and then she says something to the woman next to her who is laughing about it like, oh, my God, you guys just got on the camera. So why do they act like that? Here's what Chris Martin said in the moment at the Coldplay concert.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
So
I'm going to choose A.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Casey, you've done some online sleuthing on this, and it sounds like you were hip to it before we were. What has the internet uncovered?
Okay, this is the CEO of the company Astronomer, Andy Byron, and the chief people officer for those non-corporate types, that's just the head of HR essentially, Kristen Cabot, for this AI company. And their LinkedIn has already all got comments on it. But the real bad part
Well,
about
so
this
what? There are a couple of executives enjoying a concert together who might be in a romantic relationship. What's wrong with that?
Unfortunately, I believe Andy is married.
Oh.
I feel bad for his beautiful wife and darling children.
Now, in fairness, we don't know anything about their relationship. We don't know that there's any hanky-panky there.
Open AI could be an open relationship.
Thank you, Uncle Ryan.
They could have
with the
just been
hanky-panky.
enjoying the show. There's
could have
nothing,
been.
nothing untoward, going on there. They just, like Chris Martin said, the second part was maybe they're just really shy.
Casey, do you ever see behavior like this at a fish show, or are people too busy tripping on shrooms to actually engage in coitus?
Oh, there's a lot of activity at fish shows. Usually just people standing by the stage just spinning out of control, high on acid.
Okay, but is there any MDMA or any sexual arousal drugs that are consumed at a fish show, or is it mainly the psychedelics?
So back between 2012 and 2015, there was some really good MDMA going around the scene, and the people definitely, it was more of a love feeling. Now it's a bit more speedy and trippy.
Okay, well, it sounds like a nightmare either way. All right, thank you, Casey. Appreciate the phone call. So obviously you feel terrible for this guy's wife.
Well, how about this? I mean, people have apparently sought out her Facebook page and are now posting links to the video and making sure that she knows about this and and piling on in the comments.
Ignoring Facebook was one of the best non-decision decisions I've ever made in my life. It got away from me. I didn't understand Facebook anymore between the posts and the wall and all this stuff, and I stopped. I just stopped going on it, and I didn't spend a ton of time on it to begin with, but I stopped. And the great reason why here illustrated. Now people just, finding and pestering this woman who is undoubtedly going to have some conversations with her husband. If in fact they are still together and happily together, for all we know, they're already separated, or this is something that she knew about. But the reaction from the two at the concert does not look like they're in a public relationship.
This wasn't approved beforehand.
Now, you brought up
anybody.
off the air, Hardy, when we first saw this video, the woman next to them.
Yes.
Who has the biggest crap-eating grin on her face.
Yes.
And thinks this is absolutely hysterical.
Yes. She's in as much trouble as the other two with the wife.
Who is that woman? And she clearly knows what's happening here.
I want to know about her. And also, I don't want to know. What I would like to know is, what the wife thinks of the husband, if this is in fact an affair that he just got busted on. How he feels. Just as a human person, your stomach drops when you see his reaction. And that goes on oh, God, someone just got busted. That's not a good feeling. That's not a good feeling for anybody. But if I'm the wife, who is this confidant? Who is in on this? Who is standing there just laughing about it because she knows and she thinks the whole thing is just wickedly funny? Because, again, the wife probably doesn't think this is too funny. And as mad as she's going to be at her husband and his side piece, that one standing next to her who is just yucking it up at the fact those two just got busted, I'm pissed at her too. What's so funny there, Brunetti? What are you so giggly about?
Yeah.
My life just got turned upside down. that woman's got some explaining to do too. Especially if the wife knows her. Oh,
well,
boy.
that's the other. If the wife doesn't know who she is, then no harm, no foul. It's not like she's gonna go contact a random stranger and out her friend for breaking up a marriage.
I'm just putting myself in the wife's shoes, right? Okay, you, husband, I don't even know if I'm going to talk to you again. The woman that you're with, I have all kinds of feelings toward her, but it's that one next to him. It's just like, oh, my God. Yeah, I knew it was going on the whole time. You wouldn't expect either of the people in the affair to cop to it, but the one who's like off on the side, who knows what's going on, who didn't clue you in, if she knows her, she might be in a different kind of, but more trouble than the other two. If you knew about it and never said anything.
And it's one thing, it would be one thing even to know about it, but she's going to concerts with them, right? It's not like, I kind of know my friend is hooking up with, he shouldn't
Aiding
be
and abetting.
all that.
Yeah.
But like, you're out for a night on the town with them.
Hanging out
Like
with
you are absolutely an accomplice.
My wife has no poker face. All right, you have to know this about her. And we were at an event once where somebody came up to us and we knew this person was having a relationship with someone who they were not married to. But we knew all the people involved, and they came up to us and said, hey, we should all hang out one time. And my wife, just with the most putrid look of disgust on her face, just kind of shook her head and turned around and walked away.
That sounds like something you would do, actually. You would do the same thing.
No, I'm too much of a coward. In the moment, I'm just going to say and do whatever it takes to, go along to get along.
Yeah, sure. Sounds like a great idea.
Exactly.
Then you walk away.
That's what I say.
All right.
That's what I say. Marcy, no. She just gave these people like they were gum on the bottom of her shoe. And these were all people that we both knew.
What was the reaction after she turned around and walked
Oh,
away?
it was painfully obvious that Marcy did not approve of anything that was going on.
I know, but what was the reaction to the people after she turned around and shook her head and
Oh, that you could see it on their face. They're like, "Oh, she doesn't think too much of us." I'm like, "Oh, well, what do you got to do? All right, let's plan that pizza night." Okay.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Great for me to have to stand there and finish the
Showtime.
conversation.
Well,
B-Rob was in here earlier. We were talking about stuff going on in Las Vegas, and one of them was the Formula One. Mike, what do you have on the Formula One in Las Vegas?
Oh, you're absolutely right. It is the cluster. I'm a local out there, and the only time I go to the Strip is to watch a Knights game, and that's it.
Are you in Vegas right now?
No, I summer here in Boston, so I leave Vegas in June. Don't go back till mid-September.
That's smart.
Smart man. Yeah.
So, all right, is it 2 that they've had there now?
Yes.
Okay.
And just the construction and deconstruction, takes at least 2 months.
Well,
absolutely a cluster.
I agree with you, and I was there a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe the fact that they would close off huge sections of either the Strip or Koval in order, to accommodate this thing. And to my knowledge, one of my friends there who was a local, the first time it came around, he did the whole package and, bought the suite overlooking the race and all that stuff. And even as an F1 guy, he didn't do it again. He's like, no, once you do it, it's got very little appeal for the locals.
Do you remember when they tried to do this at the Seaport?
No locals are going.
I do.
None at all. And even like you mentioned, the side streets, Koval, Harmon, those are impossible to pass through. So you're virtually using Ubers or walking in 110-degree heat.
Yeah.
Speaking of 110
Thanks,
degree
Mike.
heat, I was going to ask him real quick about baseball. You were saying no locals will ever go to baseball games. He hung up on him?
Sorry. Well, he's summers here in Boston.
Yeah. Smart move.
That's what I strive toward in life. I want to be able to season somewhere else.
Yeah, considering what yesterday was like and what some of the other days were like, it's still pretty hot. Still pretty miserable.
No, I want to winter elsewhere at some point in my life. That sounds about perfect.
Ryan's right, though. There was a proposed F1. This is when Menino was the mayor here.
We did a lot of discussion on it on that Friday before Memorial Day, on the day I had to fill in
That's
for
right.
Films and Mass. Yeah. We had some good conversation going about it.
Yeah, we're just going to we shut the seaport down for like 3 weeks to build a track.
There's some people.
People don't need to get through there.
Okay, whether and oddly enough, one of my buddies who he and his brother, they own a paving company. He was all for F1 coming to Boston.
I'll bet. You're going to get to repave the entire seaport.
All for the Olympics coming to Boston.
Yeah.
Now, I'm like, yeah, of course you are. Because you are going to
If I was going to make millions of dollars on it, I'd be for it too.
Oh, yeah, monetarily benefit from it. But for everybody else, can you imagine like shutting down huge sections of the city so that they can repave or build structures? It's only like the contractors and like the big outfits that get a chance to make huge sums of money off this that want any of this crap.
So I just pulled up. I lived in Chicago for a little while when I was in high school, and they have a NASCAR race that they've done the last few years in like the Loop in the main part of downtown Chicago. And I just pulled up the local info. 25 days of street disruptions as they build the course.
In Chicago.
In like the main portion of downtown Chicago. They've got, 18 days of total traffic impact. Like some of these streets are shut down literally for 3 weeks.
Is that before and after, or is this just the lead up to?
I think they can break it down in a few days after. Like it's they can get it back operational by like Monday or Tuesday after the race. But for weeks before, and we're talking about like, mid to late June.
Yeah.
Where they just basically shut down a portion of the city.
I'm just trying to envision something like that happening here.
No,
I'm trying to envision.
I can't. It's too much of a nightmare. There's some things that your mind will not allow you to think about, and that's one of them. It was too much hell. Josh in Duxbury, you got more on the alleged affair that was exposed at Coldplay?
Yeah, and I'm not going to obviously say any names, but it's definitely gone viral. It's a local tech executive with his head of HR.
Yeah, I didn't think he was local, though. Is it local?
I mean covers a northeast patch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah. No, the names have already been spilled. Yeah, we were.
Yeah. And then F1, we just took a guy's trip up to Montreal, and it was an absolute disaster logistically getting to and off the island. I mean, it was a fun time, but it was a nightmare. Like 2-hour train wait to get off the island is crazy.
Yeah, but how was the actual event, like seeing it?
It was awesome. It was worth it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get it. If you're into it and you want to see it, go see it. I'm just telling you that one guy that I know who is into it, who, went in for the whole shebang. He did it once. He's not doing it again.
Yeah.
But he's going to get it in his town every year, and it's coming back. Not for him. Now it's just something to avoid. One more quick call here because Dave's been on hold for a long time. Dave in Worcester, you had a question on probably should have taken this while B-Rob was here, but go ahead, Dave.
Yes, I was sitting at a local restaurant watching the Summer League, and there's a guy from the Bulls, 5'8", point guard. I think it's Yakamura. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. Yes.
Yeah.
He was shooting threes, just a hustle, and he brought everybody up around him, motivated everybody around him when he was playing. So I'll be watching a lot of that.
All right, appreciate it.
That's it.
All right, thanks,
Yeah.
Dave. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Summer League is good for stuff like that. To see some of these players who you may not see again, except in garbage time minutes. I have no idea about Kawamura.
Make a trip up to Maine. You'll get to see lots of those guys come through.
I was just gonna
Do you know
say.
anything about Yuki Kawamura?
Yeah, really
Wallach?
short.
Do you know anything else about him, really?
I have never seen him play. I don't know.
All right. Well, enjoy him while you can.
So he plays for the Bulls?
Yeah, he's on the Summer League roster for the Bulls.
Yeah, good. All right. That's hey. What else?
Feisty, 5'8".
What else are you going to watch? I mean, at least last night he had the ESPYs to like poke in on every once in a while.
Yeah.
Oof. All right. We'll get to the emails in the stack here coming up here on Toucher and Hardy. Hold on.
let's do the email bit.
Toucher and Hardy without Fred today and tomorrow, but Ryan Johnston is here today. Michael Holly will be with us tomorrow. And I apologize. I didn't have time to consume everything in this email. Perhaps I can save it for tomorrow. But I've received the mid-year migration trends report from U-Haul, as this is of course, a busy moving season, and they reveal the top origins for customers who are moving for the country's largest metro areas. So I have the U-Haul customers that are moving into Metro Boston, one-way truck, trailer, and U-Box transactions that occurred from January to July 2025 were used to compile the list. This is something I'm probably going to have to print out and go over.
Sure.
And then we'll discuss it at length tomorrow, not just during the email segment.
Well, that's the information you're going to need. You're going to be probably renting one of those trucks pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken, right?
What, to move Katie to college?
That's right. You don't need to rent a truck because you already pretty much drive a U-Haul around everywhere.
That's right.
Comically large
everywhere.
Pickup truck you have.
Rent a box truck, head down Sturrow Drive.
Yeah.
Make sure you exceed the limit, the height limit of the tunnel. That's very important.
There's already been conversation about, like what will be packed, what will be brought. And I think now that the orientation has taken place and you had a chance to see it, maybe some managing of expectations in terms of what is going to fit in that room and what do you really need before you start purchasing furniture. Yes, no.
Has it been back and forth on that?
Not really.
No?
It's mostly just allowing all the ideas to flow freely for a time, and then I'll start the gradual pushback.
So, wait, I want to make sure I have this right. She has all of these ideas. You have not clapped back and told her no yet. You're just wanting her to get all of these ideas out, and then once we get into next month, you're going to say, okay, I've heard enough. Here's what's happening.
With the frenzy surrounding college over the last couple of years, I find myself doing a lot more smiling and nodding. More than anything.
My mom insisted when I was getting ready to go away to college. She insisted that I take an iron and a little mini ironing board.
Oh man!
Do you know how? What? At what point do you think that iron came out of the box?
Never.
Still in the box
after graduation.
Okay.
Like I literally didn't have a piece of clothing that you would need to iron. It's like It's like
well,
jeans
even if you did, you're not going
like
to iron it,
right? But yes, you never know. You might be in a situation where you need to iron something.
How many times in your life have you ironed?
Plenty.
I have to.
Plenty.
I have to.
Yeah. What do you iron?
Usually when I occasionally get out on the road with the Celtics, you iron the shirt that might have been wrinkled in transit. That kind of
That's
thing.
a big. I've done a lot of ironing in hotel rooms over the years.
Okay, so you know what? Duh. For both of you guys,
at home, very rarely.
Yes, for you,
never at home.
Ryan, mostly
get the stuff out of the dryer fast enough. You don't have to worry.
Exactly right.
I used to. I can't remember what it was that my mother gave me as a chore. I think I used to have to iron, I want to say sheets or pillowcases or something.
How long did that take? Jesus Christ.
Give that kid something to do.
That was like 3 hours later.
My mother's a bit of a neat freak.
Oh, man.
Apparently. She's ironing sheets.
I remember having to iron the linen napkins that would get brought out twice a year, for like Thanksgiving
make sure
and
those
Christmas.
look good for company.
That's right. Yeah. So but excluding those, I'm confident I can count on two hands the number of times I've ironed for myself. I'm pretty sure it's more than 5, but I don't think it's more than 10.
Basically a dress shirt, maybe some, your pants are a little wrinkly, but you're need to look good, especially if you're going to be taking any photos.
I never need to. And if I do, it's the shirts that, I take to the dry cleaners. Like my dry cleaning bill is impressively small.
See, I can appreciate that. I'd rather have a pro do it than I handle it anyway.
It's twice a year. You got like 4 or 5 dress shirts. It takes me 6 months to wear them all, and not even that. I don't put on a dress shirt 5 times in 6 months. So twice a year, maybe I'll go to the dry cleaner for me. So and ironing beyond that, no, not necessary.
18-year-old college kid. Make sure you take an iron. Like
this is something that consumed a lot of time on this show and on Zolak and Bertrand a couple days ago. The towel debate about going to a pool, right? And Tony wants to know what is my opinion on taking your towel to swim at someone else's house if you were invited to a pool party. We covered this extensively yesterday. Fred's position is clear. He never wants to take a towel anywhere.
I had a problem with Fred's position in that he kept bringing up places that you pay to go to. It's like hotels and like things like that. It's like, of course they're going to provide you a towel.
He gets on a roll, and you just got to let him go. Okay, he's not here today, so we don't have to go.
Not getting invited to somebody's backyard for a pool party.
I'm not taking a towel to the gym. Well, nobody.
Nobody does. They have towels.
I'm not taking a towel to a hotel. No one has ever done that. You don't have to.
Taking a towel to the country club. No, that you pay a lot of money so that they have towels for you.
Right. But so many people have chimed in on this. I called a buddy of mine yesterday for this express reason, who lives in California, and they put a pool in a couple of years ago, and he has 3 kids, and I know there's people at his house all the time. And I said, what's the deal with the towel? His answer, he expanded on, because he said in San Diego, everybody drives around with towels in their car because you never know when you're going to end up at the beach or you're going to end up at someone's house in the pool. And he said, he goes, now, we have 50 towels at our house, readily available. Does he prefer if someone shows up with their own towel? Yes, but in that part of the world, it's commonplace. He said, in my car right now, I couldn't tell you how many towels I have. And his wife is the same way. And but that's like a different part of the country. That doesn't factor in. You, Ryan.
Yes.
Do you own a pool?
I do not.
Have you ever owned a pool?
No.
Me neither.
Not well. My family did when when I was a kid. But
that counts.
We had,
Okay. Did you have pool parties?
Sure.
Did people show up with their own towels?
I believe they mostly did. Yeah.
Is it expected? Was it required?
I mean, it wasn't. I can't really remember. My thought on it is this: it is not necessarily required, but I would notice if you didn't bring a towel.
Wow.
I'm happy to provide you a towel, but if I'm going to if you invited me over to your pool, I would bring a towel with me.
See, my buddy
that is the etiquette. I just feel like that's the etiquette. I'm sure that you would have lovely towels and all that, but I'm going to bring it upon myself to bring a towel.
My buddy who I told you about feels the exact same way because I talked to him yesterday.
Now,
after this argument, he's like he felt the exact same way as Ryan.
Now, I was just down visiting my dad down in Florida a few weeks ago. He's got a pool. Nice, one of those inside the screen, so you don't have to worry about bugs or anything like that.
They're everywhere down there.
So you go down there. There was a wedding going on, so there was a bunch of people from out of town. He had towels for everybody because we're not going to pack a towel in your suitcase when you're flying down there. But if his neighbors came over, I'm guessing they're probably bringing their own towels.
Okay. I've been doing it wrong. Now, I haven't been to a ton of pool parties as an adult. I can, again, count on one hand. At the pool party, sure, a couple of times. I can't remember if we brought towels. Probably when the kids were little, we did, just because you're packing so much stuff anyway, and you just bring that along. But I would also think that if you're going to have the pool and you're going to have that, and that's part of the invite. What do I need to bring? Nothing, just yourself. We're having a party. You just show up and enjoy yourself. But I've been told by multiple pool owners I am wrong.
If I'm bringing my bathing suit, I'm bringing a towel with me.
Okay. All right. Any emails there, John?
Yeah, a lot of Shane Gillis love, actually. We were discussing Shane Gillis was the host of the ESPYs last night. We played some of his stuff during the first segment this morning, and we were wondering why the hell does he laugh at his own jokes? Usually not the mark of a comedian who wants to succeed. Guys, he always laughs at his own jokes. I love his material, but hate his delivery. Trevor Noah does the same thing. Dewey. And this one from Ben, not sure I agree with the take on Gillis, but I feel like he missed out on some of the better jokes. He tricked the crowd into celebrating. He made up a WNBA 4-time All-Star that was actually his buddy's wife.
Yeah, I saw that clip. It's like, I don't know if he really tricked anybody.
No,
but,
I as a matter of fact, I think people understood where he was going and really didn't find it all that funny.
It was. I guess in its conception, the bit is okay, but it landed halfway.
He did a fairly funny Epstein joke and did a tush push joke. And
I didn't hear the Epstein joke, but I saw the tush push sketch that they did that also didn't land because I think the crowd was reacting in a way that was like, is this like just one big like homophobic thing? Are we?
Exactly.
Because fine, laugh, don't laugh. You find it funny, you don't funny. But it's a sketch, and the what kills most sketches, you watch Saturday Night Live, is they go on for too long. And I think he just went on for too long.
And this from Ben, I thought he did great. And the laughing at his own stuff, especially when saying something more offensive, is kind of typical for his delivery. While it's odd, I think it can be infectious for the crowd. Either way, it's a tough gig to take, knowing half your stuff won't get laughed at. That part is true.
Yeah.
But I didn't particularly think he did a good job.
Not
that it matters. I mean, Jesus, almost no one's watching this thing. It's a made-for-TV event that will only, if it was any other time of the year, wouldn't get watched at all.
Yeah, I think it's a tough gig, and I think he's a funny guy, and I think there were some funny moments, and there was some stuff that I didn't think was all that good. All right. What else do we have here? Wallach's unfathomably bad game answer.
It was bad.
All right, so earlier, Ryan Johnston brought a game to the table where we had to guess who was knocking at my door. Again, what was the setup, Ryan?
The setup I don't have it in front of me, but
it was about looking for stacks.
Yes, it was 1978
Queens.
in an apartment in Queens.
Yes.
And knocking on Hardy's door were two men who were looking for a guy named Stacks and said something about the police finding his van. And John's answer to that was
Arnold and Willis.
That it was
Drummond.
Different strokes.
Yeah, and I've had now an hour and 40 minutes to kind of digest the answer, and I've done nothing but think about that since then. And I still have no idea what I was thinking when I said it.
So Phil wrote in, there's a classic Family Feud bit where the question is, during what month of pregnancy does a woman begin to look pregnant? And the answer was September. Phil said, John's answer in RJ's game today was substantially worse than that. I almost swerved off 128.
I thought that was such a layup.
I know.
What?
The answer, of course, is Tommy and Carbone.
Frankie Carbone.
Frankie, yeah. I had it in the moment. Whew. All right.
Hey, can I let me?
No, I think I was going to say I was done. So anything you have.
Okay, I was just because you brought up the towel thing from the midday show discussion. I just wanted to chime in on their this or that yesterday. I thought was a phenomenal one, which was you have a choice. You can either be the best athlete in an obscure sport, or the worst reliever in Major League Baseball. Now, I would add on to that, you have to put in the caveat of the baseball thing. You're not getting sent to the minors.
Oh,
right? Because you get to stay. Because otherwise, it's like, well, I could be the best at something, or I could be a guy who gets like a cup of coffee in the big leagues and gets sent to Worcester for the rest of my life.
Here's a good question, and I'm looking at the disc over here. Would you rather be Jeff Babbitt, who is the best
back-to-back MVP,
best disc player in this league that you went?
Is that lucrative?
Well, this is my point. Would you rather be that, or would you rather be a fringe major league reliever pulling down $1 million?
So here's what I came up with yesterday, because they started talking about different areas that you could potentially be excellent in.
Now, did you say fringe or worst?
Worst. It's the worst.
Okay.
The worst reliever in Major League Baseball.
I'd rather be the best cornhole player than the worst reliever in Major League.
They were
Baseball.
throwing out different. The The winner of this year's World Darts Championship, gets $1.3 million.
Yeah.
Second place is worth $400,000.
I'd rather be that guy.
Right?
I'd rather be second place in darts than second to last as
And
a
I know,
reliever.
I
in
know
Major
you
League
don't
Baseball.
drink any, but you can drink while you play that sport. Sure, and they do. Like they're chugging beers up there.
Yeah.
And they're filling arenas to watch you play darts. Like that to me is absolute. I can make $1 million for that one tournament.
I had no idea.
You're probably
you
pulling
made that
down
much.
$2 or $3 million a year, plus including sponsorships and all that.
Hell yeah.
And you're the best in the world at it.
Do you want to hear it from everybody when you suck at something? You're supposed to be good, and you're like a terrible reliever in baseball, ruining games, ruining.
Well, that's the thing.
You can ruin a person's day by your performance in a baseball game.
I think one of them said
reliever.
like you could never go on social media. Like everybody in your city just hates your guts because every time you come in, you're like throwing gas on the fire.
Yeah, no. I'll take the best player in a fringe sport. All right, we'll get to the stack here next on Toucher and Hardy. Hold on.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy.
Chicago, they're still on that 10-game winning streak.
day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Is elongating.
Weekday mornings.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, couple of things to get here. There was one email that came in that I'm not going to push back on. I'm just going to ask you honestly, Wallach.
Okay.
Because Chopper emailed in, Hardy, you must be a dick to play golf with. If you don't have the etiquette to bring a towel to a pool party, what kind of etiquette or lack thereof do you have on the course? Now, Wallach and I played together before. We played together yesterday. Wallach, how is my golf course etiquette?
Impeccable.
Impeccable. Thank you. Right?
It was. It was look, I could really take this opportunity to slam you, but I can't because
Thank you.
It was a delight playing with you yesterday.
Right, like all the rules and etiquette, spoken and unspoken,
Yes.
I follow.
I'm just very happy that I followed them and didn't make a mistake the whole day.
I mean, look, who cares? But if you're asking Chopper, there's your answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Impeccable.
All right. The Open Championship is going on right now. Ooh, there we go. We got Justin Rose. I can't believe he's a long shot pick, quite frankly. I mean, I don't think he's necessarily going to win it, but the guy has played well this year.
I may have thrown a few bucks down on Justin Rose to lead after today. Because early on in these things, he's always right around the lead.
Sexy bet.
Always right around the lead.
I like that a lot. But who else is going off here shortly, John?
Rory McIlroy is going off here shortly. He's going off at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and this is a particularly interesting weekend for McIlroy.
Actually.
Yeah, he did not want to be sitting there.
No.
You can go now. All right, Ryan, awesome to have you here as
Good to
always.
see
Thank
you,
you,
see you guys.
Wallach and I will be back tomorrow with Michael Holly here on Touch.